icy, especially at that time. Not as icy as it is today. They're all
I think it was, I still have the other one.
Okay, good evening. We're going to open with the Fairfield Township Board of Adjustment reorganization meeting. I'll take roll call first. Mr. Moriano?
Here.
Mr. Honorata?
Here.
Mr. Metallo?
Here.
Mr. Baskinger?
Here.
Mr. Lapari? Mr. Carmignola?
Here.
Mr. Iania?
Here.
Mr. Ivarone?
Here.
Mr. Fiatarolo?
Here.
Mr. Travato?
Here.
First order of business is to take nominations for chairman. Or you, sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, just to echo Steve, are there any nominations for chairman for the board for 2026? Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All right.
Any other nominations? Then why don't we take a call on Mr. Travato?
Mr. Moriano?
Yes.
Mr. Honorata?
Yes.
Mr. Metallo?
Yes.
Mr. Baskinger?
Yes.
Mr. Carmignola?
Yes.
Mr. Iania?
Yes.
Mr. Ivarone?
Yes.
Mr. Fiatarolo?
Yes.
Now it's yours.
I would like to thank everyone for their support moving forward. I would like to get a nomination for vice chair.
I'll nominate Mr. Honorata.
Second. Carmignola.
Okay. Mr. Moriano?
Yes.
Mr. Metallo?
Yes.
Mr. Baskinger?
Yes.
Mr. Carmignola?
Yes.
Mr. Iania?
Yes.
Mr. Ivarone?
Yes.
Mr. Fiatarolo?
Yes.
Chairman Travato?
Yes.
Okay.
As far as the appointments,
Motion for me for secretary. Yeah. Motion second. The same scenario.
I'd like to make a motion or accept a motion for the following for the attorney.
I'll nominate Mr. Rago.
I'll second it.
Mr. Moriano?
Yes.
Mr. Honorata?
Yes.
Mr. Metallo?
Yes.
Mr. Baskinger?
Yes.
Mr. Carmignola?
Yes.
Mr. Iania?
Yes.
Mr. Ivarone?
Yes.
Mr. Fiatarolo?
Yes.
Chairman Travato?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lo.
Thank
And I'd like to request a motion for secretary.
Make a motion.
Make a motion.
Mr. Berry?
I'll second.
Mr. Moriano?
Yes.
Mr. Honorata?
Yes.
Mr. Metallo?
Yes.
Mr. Baskinger?
Yes.
Mr. Carmignola?
Yes.
Mr. Iania?
Yes.
Mr. Ivarone?
Yes.
Mr. Fiatarolo?
Yes.
Chairman Travato?
Yes. Next is transcription service motion for,
I nominate Margot Bidley.
I'll second it.
Mr. Moriano,
Yes.
Mr. Honorata,
Yes.
Mr. Metallo,
Yes.
Mr. Baskinger,
Yes.
Mr. Carmignola,
Yes.
Mr. Iania,
Yes.
Mr. Ivorone,
Yes.
Mr. Fiatarola,
Yes.
Chairman Travato.
yes. And last but not least, I'd like to accept the nomination for planner.
I'd like to nominate Mr. Burgess and Associates.
I'll second it.
Mr. Moriano,
Yes.
Mr. Honorata,
Yes.
Mr. Metallo,
Yes.
Mr. Baskinger,
Yes.
Mr. Carmignola,
Yes.
Mr. Iania,
Yes.
Mr. Ivorone,
Yes.
Mr. Fiatarola,
Yes.
Chairman Travato.
Yes.
Mr. Travato,
Yes.
I got a text from our in absentia member asking us to all put our microphones on. I guess he can't hear after his surgery.
Okay.
Everybody's on.
Thank you.
I put mine on. Most guys don't, he said.
Thanks for the clarification.
You're welcome.
He said he'd be watching tonight.
Thanks, Ann.
Okay, moving, that's adoption of the rules and procedures of the Board of Adjustment Township Affair for the year 2026. Can we close this? And
Are we on the meeting dates? Is that where we were?
Rules,
Discussion item is the 2026 meeting dates.
Yeah, are there any conversations, questions,
None.
issues? Or so we'll adopt them.
Everybody has their packet with the dates?
Yeah,
Okay.
I make a motion, we approve them
Second.
if
Oh.
it's necessary.
Mr. Moriano,
Yes.
Mr. Honorata,
Yes.
Mr. Metallo,
Yes.
Mr. Baskinger,
Yes.
Mr. Carmignola,
Yes.
Mr. Iania,
Yes.
Mr. Ivorone,
Yes.
Mr. Fiatarola,
Yes.
Chairman Travato.
Yes. We have to close, so
Yeah.
let's go into.
Reorg is closed, and we're into the regular.
At this time, we'll close the reorg meeting.
When do I get sworn in, before or after? I don't want to create an issue.
Yeah, why don't we address that first, Lou, as far as
Before or
Rich being
after?
sworn in?
Which meeting? This one or the next one, do I get sworn in?
It should be now.
Okay.
Do we have, Steve, do we have the words, the magic words?
No.
No. Okay.
I can leave.
Why don't we do it next? No, don't leave. No.
Yeah.
Why don't we do next meeting? We're
That's
gonna,
fine with me.
is anyone else sworn in for this year?
No,
No,
I was the
Rich
only
was the
one.
only
Yeah, so, yeah, Rich, so you were just reappointed? Okay.
Yeah, I've done it a million times, but you would need to sign it and I'd have to notarize. So why don't we just go ahead tonight? You're
And I
okay?
can vote?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why don't we do this? Let's call them last, just in case. If there's enough votes without you, then
All
we're
right.
good.
Fine.
Then we're good.
So we need the, for the next meeting, we're gonna need the letter, or you can do that at any time,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yep.
Okay, that being said, I'd like to close the meeting and reopen our January 2026 meeting. Everyone, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let it be known that adequate notice of the time and date for this meeting was posted in the lobby of the municipal building and delivered to the Star Ledger and the Progress. No case will be allowed to start its presentation after 11 p.m. I'd like to do an approval of the minutes.
Make a motion.
I'll second it.
Mr. Honorata?
Yes.
Mr. Metallo?
Yes.
Mr. Baskinger?
Yes.
Mr. Iania?
Yes.
Mr. Ivorone?
Yes.
Mr. Fiatarolo?
Yes.
Chairman Travato?
Yes. Next is the memorialization of resolution, application 2025-5, Shrika General Contracting, 81 Passaic Avenue, Block 1801, Lot 1.02. Have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
In reference to?
Okay, and you are? Come on up.
Myself, my name is Dylan DeCasino. I'm with Guy and Associates. I'm here in place of Mr. John Chiara today, who is the firm representing the application for us.
Excuse me, is your mic on? Push the, yeah, there you go.
Is this better? Okay, sorry, guys. I was saying, my name's Dylan Casino. I'm here on behalf of Chiara Associates. I'm in place today of Mr. John Chiara. As you know, he's the lawyer representing the applicant, Siaka Contracting on behalf of Mr. Srika. It's our understanding that we did not receive this resolution. We had made requests going back to last month, and we request that if apparently Mr. Srika has come before and just received the resolution now, and if it's okay just to recess this for a few minutes to even later tonight. He's actively reviewing it in the hall, and I would just ask if you can respectfully hold.
Carry it for later.
Yeah, we'll carry it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, thank you.
It should be fairly straightforward. Yeah, thank
I
you.
hope so.
It is.
Okay, that being said, we're gonna go right to new business. It's application 2025-12, Solar Landscape LLC.
How are you, Donna?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Good evening for the, is this on? Good evening for the record. I'm Donna Jennings from the law firm of Walens, Goldman and Spitzer on behalf of the applicant. As the board is aware, the applicant is here this evening seeking minor site plan approval and a D1 use variance to install rooftop community solar panels with associated wall and ground mounted equipment on the existing buildings on property located at 16 to 18 Passaic Avenue and identified as Block 1907, lots 1 and 2. By way of background, the applicant, Solar Landscape, is the premier commercial rooftop solar developer in the country. As a leader in commercial real estate clean energy development, the applicant has invested heavily into its building capabilities to support the next phase of its growth. This past year, the applicant has secured $847 million in project investment and financing, enabling it to continue its growth and create more than 200 commercial rooftop solar projects to power over 50,000 households. The state first launched the Community Solar Program as a pilot program in 2018, and the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities has since established a permanent community solar program. Individuals and businesses are now able to greatly benefit from solar energy systems without needing to install the solar panels on their own property. Instead, solar energy is generated off-site for use by members of the program. Members receive several benefits, including paying a reduced energy bill by utilizing clean and renewable energy sources. Significantly, these community solar programs are required to serve a majority of low and moderate income customers. This evening, the record will reflect that the applicant satisfies the positive and the negative criteria to grant the use variance. The positive criteria is satisfied as a matter of law because the municipal land use law specifically recognizes solar energy facilities as inherently beneficial uses or a use which is universally considered of value to the community because it fundamentally serves the public good and promotes the general welfare. The record will further show that the applicant satisfies the negative criteria because the impact on the surrounding properties and the impact on the intent and purpose of the zone plan and zoning ordinance are de minimis. Generally, the proposed panels and the equipment will not have any impact on the surrounding land uses. There are also existing non-conforming conditions with respect to the maximum permitted lot coverage and the maximum permitted impervious coverage. While no variance relief is required because the applicant does not worsen the deviation, should the board grant the use variance, and any bulk variance relief is assumed under the case Price v. Himeji. In support of the application, the applicant will rely on the testimony of the following witnesses. Jim Wheel, the applicant's representative, is a fact witness. Ryan Holosi is the engineer, and Kristen Shepard is our planner this evening. As a matter of record keeping, we are in receipt of the board engineer and planner's reports, both dated November 24th, 2025, and we'll touch on those as we discuss and go through our testimony. So with that, I'd like to bring up our first witness. Jim, come on up. We'll get you sworn in, and you can put some testimony on the record.
Are we okay on notice and publication? Okay. Sir, if you could raise your right hand when you're ready. With regard to this application, do you swear the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Name, please, and spell your last name.
James and Weil. Last name spelled W-E-I-L.
Thank you.
Okay, and just for the record, could you indicate for the board your relationship with the applicant's solar landscape?
Sure, I am the senior pre-construction manager at Solar Landscape.
And if you can just give a brief overview of who Solar Landscape is?
Sure. Solar Landscape is the leading commercial and community solar developer in the United States. We develop, install, and operate solar projects on commercial and industrial rooftops. We have deployed more than 400 megawatts of renewable energy across hundreds of projects, at least 100+ million square feet of commercial rooftops, totaling over $1 billion in capital investment.
Okay, and why did you select these two sites in particular?
Just through a combination of structural and electrical diligence.
Okay, and you have an agreement with the owners of the property?
We do. We have a lease agreement.
Okay, and have you already purchased the equipment and panels and you're ready to proceed?
Yes.
Okay, and how do you get your BPU approvals? Can you provide a brief overview of the approval process?
Sure. The Community Solar Program is a BPU-issued competitive bid program. The awards are made largely based on incentive discounts, or solar power discounts, sorry.
Okay, and what are the benefits of community solar?
Discounted electricity that's green, better for the environment. That's really it.
How do you ensure that majority of the affordable households receive the benefits?
Through our registration program, the off-takers or customers self-attest to any sort of low to moderate income status.
And do you encourage community engagement and community meetings?
Yes, we rely heavily on townships outreach that we provide either through our individual internal people or township members.
Okay, and can you just address the maintenance of the panels? How do you clean the panels? How do you deal with snow?
We let the sun's natural light melt the snow.
Okay, and what if they're cracked or something like that? How do you know if there's a problem with the panels?
The systems are monitored 24/7. We have our own internal operations and maintenance teams. We can send someone out to the site next day.
Do you have cameras on the roof?
Yes.
Okay, and how do you get up to the roof when you come out to do any kind of maintenance?
We either bring a scissor lift or, on-site ladders or hatches.
Okay, and how come sometimes we have wall-mounted systems and sometimes there's ground-mounted equipment?
We wall mount when possible. Some of the equipment on some systems is just too large to mount to the wall.
Can you confirm the panel lifespan and address your decommissioning process?
Sure. The panel lifespan's roughly 20 to 25 years. Upon system decommissioning, we would remove everything, return it back to its current existing conditions.
That's all the direct questions I have for this witness.
Thank you. Anybody from the board have questions?
I have some questions. How many panels will be placed on the roof?
This site, 1,516.
What are the size of the panels?
They're 585 watts each.
Can you give me dimensions of the panel?
Should be on the.
Our site engineer
they're
probably
the,
can address
on the
that.
cut
He was
sheet.
gonna get into
Fine.
those details.
And when these panels are placed on the roof, if I'm standing on the sidewalk and I look up, will I be able to see the panels?
No,
You will not from the street see these panels.
no. They're set back enough from the roof edge that anyone at ground level won't be able to see them.
So theoretically, only someone in an airplane or helicopter will be able to see the panels. Is that right?
Yeah.
And does this work that you receive a certain amount of energy from the sun? That energy is stored in battery somewhere, and then the energy is sold to people or given to utility? How does that work?
So there's no battery storage on this site. The electricity goes right to the grid. It's metered, and then distributed to the local population.
When you say local population, is that people in this town, or where would that be?
Well, technically through the program, it's this county and no, it's not this county, sorry. It's the entire, utility service area.
Okay. And then you're gonna have transformers on site also, is that right?
There'll be one, yes.
One, only one?
Yeah.
Okay. And that will be on the ground, right?
Yes.
And is there any danger that's gonna be in a parking lot area, correct?
Yes, it will be.
Okay, and if someone were to crash into that transformer, would there be any danger to that person hitting the transformer? What could happen? What could happen?
I mean, I believe we were installing bollards, so I don't think there's really any risk of that.
Okay, so if the bollards are there, that would protect any car from hitting it, correct?
Yes.
But if the bollards weren't there and that was hit, that would cause a problem, correct?
Yeah, it would likely cause a shutdown. There's all sorts of protection gear that or will install, with the utility and even on our end.
Okay, thank you, I have nothing further.
Mr. Chairman, I have one question.
Yes, Diane.
Will you be feeding into the building, to the existing
No.
structures? So the buildings on site don't reap any of the benefit of the solar?
No, they don't.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes. Mr. Carmignoli.
I was on site the last time we were supposed to have this meeting. That transformer that you have there in the middle of the parking lot, is there a reason why it has to be located there in the middle of the parking lot, at the end of the parking lot?
It's largely dictated by the utility company.
Well, you're the utility company, aren't you?
No.
Okay, no. Okay, so there's no possibility that transformer can get moved into the wooded area where the panels are on the side of the building there?
I don't believe so. It's right at the end of the pole run that goes down the middle of the building.
My concern is this, there's a lot of traffic going through there. I'd spent maybe 45 minutes to an hour on that site, and there's a lot of tractor trailers, large trucks that are coming in and out of there, right through where that transformer is. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think Ballards are gonna stop a truck from banging into that thing.
I don't believe there's an option to put it into the woods currently.
Did you ask the utility company if there is an option?
You kind of don't ask them, they tell you where it's going, essentially.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, I mean,
It's their transformer, so it's kind of at their discretion.
well, it's their transformer, or is it your here's where I'm losing train of thought here now. You're producing electricity for them,
Yes.
am I correct?
Well,
And it's feeding into that transformer, which is gonna feed to the electric company.
yes.
There's no transformer there right now. So I can't see why that can't be moved into the wooded area, and there's power lines that are going right across the back there also.
So
Tie into.
the circuit that we're tying into was specifically picked by the utility because it has existing capacity for it. If the other feeder was available, we would have likely used that instead.
Right, so then does the feeder end right there?
Yes, it terminates in the parking lot, roughly where the transformer is.
Okay, thank you.
I have a follow-up question real quickly. I think you testified that at a period in time in the future, the roof will be returned to its
Yes.
prior state. So how many years would these be on the roof? 25 years?
I believe our contract is 20 years with 3 optional 5-year extensions.
Okay, so when your contract expires, as part of your arrangement, you remove everything that you put on the roof, is that correct?
Yes, the roof and the ground.
Excuse me?
The roof and the ground
On the
equipment.
ground, okay.
Mr. Chairman? Where are these panels manufactured? I don't see one. We could ask the,
I couldn't testify to that right now. I don't know off the top of my head.
not even Hazard, country-wise?
I don't have the cut sheet in front of me. But
Let's see if I have it.
That's a rat, can use it, does that help?
no.
Ask Steve if he
I
received
mean,
one.
Brian might be able to testify to that.
Right,
It's on his plan.
okay. Can't answer?
I think our engineer may be able to
Okay,
shed some light on that.
And I heard you say that they last 20 to 25 years, but if one fail sooner than that, or whenever it fails, what's the procedure for disposing of it?
We work with a relatively local recycling firm that takes the modules, breaks them down, recycles them.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question. Mr. Wheel. The owner of the building or the tenant understands that they're responsible for POV signage and so forth and so on the property, or are you, as the leasing person of the project, are you gonna take responsibility for that? Are you taking responsibility for fire department compliance? Because there's signage that's
yes.
required, obviously you know that.
Yes.
For that, who's going to be responsible for installation of such signage?
Solar Landscape will be responsible for any safety signage.
Okay.
Steve, I have a question. Do we have any kind of letter from the fire for approval?
I didn't see it. Yeah. I didn't get one.
While he's looking for that.
Yes.
Excuse me, Jim. The height of the panels off the roof.
Mhm.
What is the height?
It's roughly 8 inches or so.
Okay. And secondly, when you decommission after 20 or 25 years, or I think you actually said 3 5-year periods beyond 20?
Yeah, they're optional extensions, yes.
Let's assume for a moment that there's an improved solar panel, smaller perhaps or whatever. What's the likelihood that your company would then put new solar panels on the roof?
Like midterm, replace them?
Midterm or at the end of the decommission period?
Midterm, we wouldn't. The system is going to stay as is.
Okay.
After, I can't really speculate on what would happen after the system, but I mean, it's possible.
I mean,
That's
there's an
assuming the
obvious.
owners would extend the lease.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Make
this
it
is-
worthwhile.
Oh, no.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm asking. It is a worthwhile endeavor,
Right.
and I would hope that there would be some continuation if feasible.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, this system can exist for up to 35 years. If at the end of that, we deem the system has degraded or needs to be replaced, that would be with a separate lease and separate contract with.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Mr. Will. Counterbalancing. How are they mounted? Are they counterbalanced on the roof? What's the mechanism for securing them?
It's a combination of mechanical attachments and concrete ballast block.
In light of the location to the airport, are there any safety concerns with having all these panels on the roof being next to
No,
an
we have an
airport?
FAA license. You have to get the non-glare
So you're all good on that?
licensing. Yeah, we get
Yes.
that before we even come here.
Chairman, the fire department did not issue a report.
Did not issue a report. Was it
No.
requested?
I'm not sure. This is just a use variance. I mean, for like an installation, they would have to do a review for fire code with the building permit. So I'm not sure if they were requested to have a report or not for the use
That would be
variance,
my
but we
concern
don't
as
know.
far as the transformer location,
Sure,
that we got approval from fire.
right.
Well, they would need,
For,
from what I'm hearing is, if, in the event this is approved, one of the conditions would be that the fire department would look at this as a
right,
matter of course.
always on this type of installation, building permit and then fire code
Have to get
review
fire
for fire code would be one of the steps, but whether or not it's compliant right now, I don't know. We don't know.
Chairman,
Yes, Ms. Morgan.
question for Mr. Rego. Mr. Rego, if we were to approve this application, could we make it a condition of approval that that transformer be moved in accordance with what Mr. Carmiolo's observations?
From what I'm hearing, if this is approved, the condition would probably be that the board request that the applicant make a good faith effort to have that moved. If we say they have to have it moved and it's not within their area of responsibility, it would put them in a tough spot. So the answer is we could say, make a good faith effort to have it moved, keep us in the loop in the event there's correspondence going back and forth, let our professionals know, and try to do it that way.
Mr. Rego, Mr.
Chairman, can I ask Mr. Rego a question? Should we decide to approve, could we at least, at the very least, make it a condition that, one, obviously, they have to comply with the fire department's Of course. approvals. Second, if the power authority determines or states that the transformer cannot be moved, could we get something in writing? Could we make that a condition that we would need something in writing from the utility authority stating why they couldn't move it or why it should not be moved?
That might be a little difficult. I mean, I don't know if you've dealt with the utility companies. I don't know. if
We
we're gonna
can't
them
get
to-
something saying, no, we're not gonna allow you.
We'll try. I don't know if we're going to get it.
We can,
but
maybe
yeah.
the same way, Lenny, we can ask that they make a good faith
If you don't
effort.
ask, you don't get. I'm just.
Right.
Yeah, that they ask, and if there's a no, if we can get something in writing.
Right.
Yeah, there would have to be a response to the question.
Yeah, yeah.
I may not have heard, but who is the utility?
Who is the utility?
Wow.
It's gotta be PSE&G. Yeah,
Yeah, I believe it's PSE&G.
yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions for this witness? Anything said?
All right, thank you. At this time, I'll call up the site engineer, just kind of walk you through where the panels are.
Any
Any
public?
questions from the audience?
Oh, sorry.
No.
Raise your right hand when you can. Okay. Do we have we had what you're handing out or no? Okay, I'm gonna mark whatever this is as A1, and it looks to be an equipment exhibit.
Thank you.
Is it 3 sheets of papers, Ryan, that you're handing out? 2 sheets?
Heavy paper.
Yeah.
There's like 6 sheets.
Gee.
It's over you. Short point engineering. Solar guys don't mess around.
No, it doesn't. If you could raise your right hand, please. With regard to this matter, do you swear the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Could you state your name and spell your last name, please?
Ryan Holosi, Hollosi.
Your first name is Ryan?
Yes.
Thank you.
If you could, Mr. Holosi, give the board the benefit of your background and qualifications.
Yes, I'm a licensed professional engineer in the state of New Jersey since 2024. My license is current and in good standing. I've testified in front of numerous boards across New Jersey, but never in front of this board.
Board accepts qualifications?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you could, just describe the existing site conditions and then the applicant's proposal.
Yes, so,
You're going to rely on that, do you want to mark that into evidence, that board?
yes, this one is A2, is our rendering aerial image.
A2, with regard to A1 that we just marked, was that done by either you or your office?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And A2, same
It's a
thing?
blown-up version of A1.
It's in-
Blown up version.
No, A1
Oh,
is.
A1 you
no.
gave him is this one?
Okay.
Oh, you did it backwards. Okay.
And you'll explain what A1 and A2 is as we move along?
Yes.
Okay.
So A2 is our aerial rendering image. As you can see in the blue is the solar panels on top of the roof, and then in the southeast corner is the ground-mounted equipment.
Where would the transformer be?
This
Or will-
transformer is right here in the ground area.
Okay.
So all blue is the panels, correct?
And then the other exhibit that I handed out, A1, is a zoomed-in close-up of the ground-mounted equipment with the transformer labeled, and then the 2 inverters, which would be wall-mounted to the existing building. And then the second page is the racking detail that has been updated since our previously submitted plans.
the?
So the,
You don't fit under the desk.
no.
It's a nice problem to have.
Both lots are containing about 6 acres. This is located in the L1 zone. It has frontages along Passaic Ave. Surrounding the property is industrial and residential uses. Towards the rear is the residential, and the other surrounding areas are commercial and industrial. Yeah, and as stated previously, the applicant's proposing roof-mounted solar panels with ground-mounted equipment. There's 1 new utility pole, a transformer panel board, and 2 wall-mounted inverters. And as stated, we'll be using 3 existing spaces for the transformer, which will not affect the required parking spaces on site, which the existing is 102 spaces and the proposed is 99 spaces, while the requirement on site is 75. And the panels will lay as slightly tilted on the roof, which is about 8.5 inches, which again will not be seen from the Passaic Ave due to the parapet roofing and the fact that it only adds 8.5 inches.
And if you could provide specific statistics about the panels themselves, how many, I know we have on the record already, but the power that's going to be generated, how many homes will be powered, that kind of stuff.
Yes, the total amount of modules will be 1,516. The power produces 1.05 million kilowatt hours, which will produce about 127 homes annually.
And there are 2 existing nonconformities, just for the record, could you indicate what those are?
Yes, they are for the maximum lot coverage where 25% is permitted and 34.7% is existing, and the maximum impervious coverage where 55% is permitted and 77.5% is existing. And as stated before, we are not increasing any of these.
And you had a chance to look at the board review letters?
Yes.
And do you want to address one comment regarding screening the ground mount equipment that you claimed? Willing to do that?
Yes.
Okay, and what about outside agency approvals? What do we have and what do we need?
We have the Passaic County Planning Board, we have FFA approved, and we have the conditional interconnection approval received from PSENG.
That's all the direct questions I have for this witness.
Are there any concerns with the weight of the panels on these roofs? Has that been looked into and we're okay on that front?
That Solar Landscape does a structural analysis before picking a project.
So, Mr. Chairman?
Any other questions from the board? Yes. Mr.
Mr.
Yain.
Chairman, can I ask-
Yes.
So the survey, the site survey in terms of the structural integrity of the roof, age of the roof, infrastructure of the building will be done, I'm sorry.
They do that actually before they
So
Go
they've
into
already
lease.
kind of done some of the work.
check
right?
the buildings out first before they go through this whole process.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
And they can submit that to you. I'm sure they have the report.
And, Mr. Chairman, one more
Yes.
question. In terms of the switchgear on the ground, I'm assuming it's gonna be on the back of the building, disconnects everything that the fire department or anyone that is located on site. So the tenant in the building really has nothing to do with the actual project or the system. But provisions have to be made within the building for on-site personnel to be able to shut that system down. Has that been taken into consideration?
I believe Solar works with the leasing. Is that in the lease safety?
Yeah, the on-site disconnects can be, the switchgear is lockable, but there is a disconnect for a
I have a
safety
system.
shutdown. Yeah,
I have 90,000 square feet
okay.
of panels on a factory roof.
Mhm.
What I'm saying to you is, I understand the system, I understand the project, I understand the scope of the project. What I'm saying to you is, in my case, my personnel are trained to disconnect the system, pull the disconnect or power it down if needed. We occupy the building, we own the system. What I'm saying to you is, the tenants in the building have nothing to do with the system. You're just installing something on their roof. You have an agreement with them. Who's gonna take on-site responsibility for that system should you need to power it down? or pull a disconnect, not the fire department.
From like a liability standpoint?
Just if there's an emergency or
From
a
a safety
situation,
standpoint.
from a safety
Oh,
standpoint.
either the fire department or the utility themselves.
Fire department will not pull the disconnect on it. The fire department, that's not their responsibility. Not unless there's no one else on site.
I mean, I'm not very familiar with the fire department procedures. I can't really comment on it.
Let's, can I add to that question? As far as, what is the typical procedures?
For an emergency shutdown would be
In this type of scenario where you're not, nobody in the building is utilizing your service, is that typical throughout, you know, this new, the whole reason why you're here is a community
Right.
service? How many of them do you have, and what are the procedures in other in other areas?
I mean, we can remotely shut the system down if that's was an issue.
The issue is excuse me, I'm
Is that
sorry.
what you do?
No, go ahead.
That's what they're asking you.
Mr. Chairman, the issue, what I'm looking for is you to tell me, what SOP do you have in place? Should that system, worst case scenario, need to be disconnected, a disconnect pulled, or powered down? Who does it?
We would. We have our own internal teams.
Okay. Explain, forgive me.
Oh, no, it's
How do
okay.
you, is there someone sitting in front of a computer that a phone call comes in and they push a button? Is there someone, in a remote location that's gonna be monitoring it, that knows enough, okay, we have a red flag here, we have an alert, we have a code, we need to power it down? Or is someone on site, whomever the tenant is there going to be something in the agreement that they have a maintenance person or maintenance personnel that will be trained, if necessary, to shut that system down? I'm looking for you,
No,
I don't wanna tell you what to do, I'm looking for you to tell me what.
No, I
what
understand
your
now.
procedure is.
Yeah, so there's nothing, the tenant has no responsibility to manipulate the system at all. We do in fact have a very large team that monitors systems all day, 24 hours a day. If there is an issue, it is flagged. I think there's even an automated phone service that
I'm
calls
assuming
someone.
The apps are on the phones and they get alerts and so forth. and
Yes,
so on.
yeah, so we can remotely deactivate systems if there's, a sign of anything going awry or, and then it would automatically trigger a physical visit to go, figure out what's going on.
Mr. Chairman? And this, I don't mean to be redundant, but my biggest concern with this is safety. My facility's in a large county in New Jersey. There are many, many facilities in the area that I am in that have systems on the roof. There's been several incidents. I've dealt with the fire department, the Department of Engineering. Fortunately, I've had no incident. But safety, community safety, for the people that are, or your tenants that are maybe owner-occupied or just tenants of the building. My main focus and my main concern is just general safety. Is there a protocol? Is there a plan in place? And if you say yes, that's great. At some point, we'll just say, okay, just give it to us in writing what it is. I don't necessarily need to bless it or not.
Right.
I just want to know that there's going to be a program in place for it.
Yeah, we can provide specifics if that's what you need.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr.
Yes,
Chairman,
can I
may I ask a
also-
follow-up question to this discussion?
Yes, Mr. Patel.
Mr. Weil, do you have any other installations in New Jersey?
Yes, we have,
Probably over 200.
yeah, at least.
Could you give us an idea of some of what locations they might be, how far away from us?
Oh,
Close.
all over the state, like from top to bottom.
You can't even name one that's, let's say, within a 20-mile radius of this location?
This town?
By town. I'm not asking you the name of the company, who owns the building.
I mean, there's so many. Mount Laurel,
Tinton Falls, we have 2. Monroe, we have 2.
Bridge-
Piscataway, we have 3. Sayreville, we have 2.
Bridgewater.
Bridgewater, Cherry Hill, we did 10. We're doing another one.
And your operation does not require anyone from your company on site?
No.
Okay, remote, fine. Thank you.
Yeah, there will be, I believe,
During the
once.
construction and the startup, I'm certain you'll have some people.
Yeah, there'll be twice a
Yeah.
year, like maintenance visits.
Right, okay. Thank you.
Is there a protocol for that, for maintenance schedule?
Yeah, I believe it's biannually, two-man crew, one truck. You know, they bring a ladder or a lift if they need it, and they're on site for a day or two, depending on how big the system is. And then that's really it. They replace anything that needs to be replacing, you know, that's, gets it going.
Any other questions?
I had a question for the engineer.
Thank you.
Just going back to, I think you heard that the board's concerned about the transformer pad being hit by traffic. Looking at now, your site is overparked, correct? You have extra spaces. I'm just looking at the diagram that you handed out. Is there potential to eliminate, I guess, these 5 spaces all surrounding the transformer, make it grass or concrete, and then raise curb so it's being taken out of the parking lot? And maybe that's something for the board that you might feel addressed so it's no longer sitting in the traveled way, and you'd also reduce your impervious coverage a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you see?
Yeah, that's definitely something that we could work with solar on. I don't see an issue with that.
So I don't know if the board follows me,
No,
but it's
yeah.
no longer in the part. It's moving the wooded area to underneath the.
Yeah, moving the wooded area out.
If that.
Yeah.
Would
We can make that a
take care of
condition of
that.
approval.
So how many parking spaces would the applicant lose?
It looks like you're losing 3 through the hashing on the drawing. It looks like you probably would want to get rid of those 2 that are actually, as I'm looking at, would be difficult to access anyway. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you calling
So
what you're
what-
proposing?
So, well, yeah, just removing that section of the parking lot, installing raised curb around, like the rest of the parking lot has, matching it up around that. So now the transformer is actually sitting off the parking lot now.
Parking.
Yeah.
I
So
understand what you're
rather,
saying.
you'd have to go up and over the curb to get to it.
Yeah.
Remove section of park. We need some direction. A remove section of
Yeah,
parking
yeah,
lot
yeah,
at the
still
rear
bollards.
of the parking lot? Is that?
Yes.
So we're,
Well, if you looked at Exhibit A1, the second, there's the picture of the
Yeah.
transformer. So what he's discussing is the 2 parking spaces to the south of the already delineated area would be removed. And then maybe another parking space or 2 to the north to just make it a much larger area. And then we would bollard the whole thing and put a raised curb around it. I think that's what he's trying to indicate for us.
Steve, is that indicating that there's 3 parking spaces right in front of it?
I think
That
they're talking right here.
that
here,
hatched
here.
area
Yeah.
is
And
3 parking
No,
spaces.
these here.
No, this he's talking about. No. I don't know
No,
what that is.
that's, no.
Yeah, there are 2 lines there. I'm not quite sure. It,
Lines there, but I don't know if
that,
they're parking
Yeah,
spaces.
I'm not sure.
No, they're not
That's
parking
not
Yeah,
spaces. I don't know
they-
why they're there.
So it's the one up against
they
the,
wouldn't be functional. It looks like they're in the driveway.
Is that a loading dock door that's right in front of that?
In front of loading dock? No, those are the,
On the building itself?
no, those are the actual inverters.
Okay.
Oh,
See the arrows pointing to them?
3 spaces.
yeah. Those lines in front of that parking area is the gas line easement.
Yeah, probably, that's all it is, I'm sure.
Looks like the count is correct.
Yeah, Ryan? Those 2 extraneous lines that look like parking spaces but aren't, they follows all the way through.
That's the
front of the
gas
site.
line
Parking variance. Well,
easement.
they need a parking variance
An
anyway, I
easement.
think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see.
So they would need more of a parking variance, Steve?
No, so
We're-
they're,
We're way over on parking.
you're,
Oh, you're over on,
they're
okay,
over on
They can-
parking. It's not
they can
triggering
give
a
us
parking
back those
variance.
spaces.
got it.
And they'll
Okay.
still
Like the-
be over on parking.
I would like to delineate where that curb would be located. To maybe go out as far as those, the inverters, and to wrap around if it's possible.
That far? What do you think?
That might get into additional parking, which I think we still have enough parking to get removed, but that would be like another additional like 4 spots
Come from here.
if we go that far as the inverters.
Ah. Very Nice.
Is that what you're doing? I mean, it's doable, if that's what you're asking.
What's your client's position on it? That you'll consider it, that you'll do it?
No,
If-
I think they'll do it.
Is there an
Eliminate
issue
some
with
additional
the?
parking spaces. I mean, we have to make sure that.
Yes, I was just gonna ask you that,
Yeah.
is it a condition that the owner would have to approve?
Yeah, he'd have to prove it.
How do we handle condition of approval?
Is the approval, is the owner here at all, or?
No.
No? Okay. If the board chooses to go this route, we could have that condition subject to approval by the owner. If the owner says, no way, then they can't do it. But we could have it, that, and maybe if this is approved with that condition, maybe before we memorialize, we could get something back from the owner or from you saying they're okay with it, just so the board will know that we're not just making a condition that can't happen.
Right.
All right.
Chairman?
Owner to
Yes.
approve.
I don't understand something. If we think that for safety reasons, those two spaces should be gone, we're leaving it to the discretion of the owner?
Well, to grant the approval, we're gonna need that, you know, we can't, modify, he has to agree to that. And if he doesn't agree to it, that's between him and the applicant.
Mr. Chairman, may I add that it shouldn't be about a monetary disagreement, that it's a no from the landlord?
Yeah.
Have to be another reason other than monetary.
Could we leave it, if the owner doesn't approve it, they have to come back and explain to us why? This is a
If
matter of
the owner
safety.
says no, then the owner says no, for whatever reason, maybe they don't wanna
Is there any possibility
disturb
of
that area.
you getting in touch with him at this time?
I have no idea who he is.
I don't think it happened tonight.
Right.
Right. Joe, do you have any opinion on this?
Yeah, the reality is, if you maintain this as a condition, and the owner says no, I can't understand why he or she would lose out on 25 years
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
an arrangement.
For parking spaces they don't need.
Yeah, for parking spaces. So I would leave it as a condition, and if he says no, have the applicant come back, and then we'll
We
at
have to
least
come back and
discuss it.
seek to remove the condition.
Tell us.
So you can make it a condition, and if we can't work it out, we'll have to come back to seek to remove the condition.
So you'll agree to those terms?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, for that, I would like that, Steve, you know, to have input as far as the location of that and what it's going to, if you could present something to our engineer.
Sure.
Just so I understand, you're also looking to have cleared in front of these inverters
Yes,
that
yeah, I mean, while
kind of square that off there and, okay.
And Ballard, you know, like, there's no, we don't have any indication of ballards or anything, so you can work with them on,
On the, yeah.
yeah.
Chairman, will there be bollards?
Yes, we have requested ballards, there's none on the drawing indicating it, but they did represent it, they would put them in.
And that's around the transformer that's gonna be in the middle of the parking lot, at the end of the parking lot.
Yes.
Okay. Now, here's something to think about, Mr. Chairman, that I've looked at here. If the utility company's willing to put that transformer along the side of the building, and the only reason why I'm saying they might be is, I see here proposed trench that has to go from that building to that transformer. So if they're gonna trench to that transformer, why can't they put the transformer there and trench to the utility pole? I mean, that's an option out there for them also. Now that thing's out of the way, we don't have to raise any curbs anywhere, and it's in the back of the building. If that's an option we could put in there, if we hear from the utility company, if they're willing to do that. I mean, let me ask you a question. When you got these, the utility company came to you and said, this is where I want the transformer?
They
Yeah.
work with solar, yeah.
Yeah. They go to the utility company first, and they tell them where everything has to go, and then they decide.
No,
the
hold
system.
on a second. They go to the utility company first, Or does the utility company come to you and say, this is where I want the transformer?
I'll let him speak.
My concern is this, there's a lot of traffic going through that parking lot, a lot. And I've
So-
seen the way they drive through that parking lot. I'm gonna tell you something right now. With ballards or without, somebody's gonna hit that transformer there.
Not if we're gonna do the raised curbing.
Well,
that's
now
what-
you're gonna do the raised
Right.
curbing, now you are,
Right.
but you weren't doing that before.
I know, but that's the first
I
option.
understand,
Right.
but my concern is this. The safest place for that transformer is on the back of the building. If they're gonna trench to that transformer from the building, they can trench from the transformer to the utility pole. That's an option out there. Did anybody ask them if they could do that?
When we apply to the utility company, we do a site walk with them. So one of our personnel and one of their personnel are on site. They discuss options for locating the equipment. This is what the utility arrived at. There is a gas line in the easement in the parking lot. You can see the trenches are avoiding that. Utility, in my experience, tends to want to be not immediately up against buildings, which is where that would likely drop the transformer.
As far as, Carmiola, as far as the expertise of location, I would rely heavily on what PSENG says as far as their location and why. And obviously, we asked you to get the reason why or why not. So it'll be on record why or why not. And it's, they're the experts as far as that's concerned.
So do you prefer which option do you want? I mean, do we want to go to the owner and ask him to do the raised curb with eliminating some of the spaces, or you want us to go to the utility
Our
company?
first request was that you asked the utility company if it could be moved.
Is that the
If it
preferred?
could be moved, that would be a viable option.
Okay.
Option two is, if it can't be, is that you follow through with our town engineer and provide a rendering of, what we had discussed.
Okay.
I think they have enough, I think they have enough to work with, given the board's ideas, to come back with something viable, whether it's a mix and match or something. So
it
so
would
they
be
know
one
what
or
we're
the
looking for.
You want to call back the engineer?
Sure.
Any other questions for this professional? No. Any questions from the audience?
Okay.
You
This time we'll
proceed.
bring up our planner.
Thank you.
If you raise your right hand, please. With regard to this application, do you swear the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Could you state your name and spell your last name, please?
Kristen Shepard. First name is Kristen, Cristen, and last name is Shepard, Sheppard.
Thank you.
And if you could, Ms. Shepherd, give the board the benefit of your background and qualifications.
Yes, I've had a professional planning license in the state of New Jersey for the last 3 years. It is valid and in good standing. I have testified on behalf of a number of boards in Monmouth County and across New Jersey. I have been supporting the preparation of testimony planning, as well as comprehensive master plan development, ordinance designations, and support on a number of different planning documents across the state of New Jersey.
Board accepts your qualifications?
Yes, we accept.
Thank you. And if you could, Ms. Shepherd, you've had an opportunity to review the application, the township's master plan and zoning ordinance,
I have.
and you understand that the relief the applicant is requesting this evening, and if you could give your professional opinion as to whether or not the applicant satisfies both the positive and negative criteria for the grant of the variance.
Yes, I will. Thank you. Hi, everybody. So as we know, we're here today seeking a D1 variance because as stated in the master plan and underneath this zone, the solar facilities are not explicitly permitted in this L1 zone. So because of this, we use a SECA balancing test, which was developed by or proposed by SECA versus Wall Township Board of Adjustment, and that is to discuss the statutory requirements of an inherently beneficial use. And given that solar is designated as an inherently beneficial use, we use a 4-prong analysis, and I will address that in turn. So that first prong requires identification of the public interest that is advanced by this proposal. So in this case, I will read the inherently beneficial definition by NJSA 4055D-4, and that's that inherently beneficial uses means a use which is universally considered of value to the community because it fundamentally serves the public good and promotes the general welfare. Such uses include energy facility and solar structures. So in this case, obviously, the proposed solar facility is consistent with and supported by this SECA test, and it is also further supported by the township's master plan policies, and I will address that a little bit later in my testimony in detail. And additionally, a portion of this energy that's generated, about 51%, will support low to moderate income families. The second prong of my testimony requires the evaluation of any potential detriments associated with the grant of this variance. So as already put on the testimony record today, the solar panels and ground-mounted equipment will be appropriately screened and or located in appropriate areas of the site to minimize visual impacts. The proposed installation will not impact drainage or stormwater management systems, and it will also not impact existing building coverage, parking, site circulation access, or impervious coverage. The third prong of this test is considering whether reasonable conditions can be imposed to mitigate any adverse impacts. We've already discussed a number of conditions tonight, but the applicant is, of course, willing to accept any reasonable conditions that the board deems appropriate. I know a number have been stated on the record tonight that will move forward. And then finally, the fourth prong is that the board must weigh the benefits of the inherently beneficial use against any potential detriment. And in my opinion, given the strong public benefit associated with renewable energy generation, the positive criteria substantially outweigh any minimal impacts that we have just referred to previously in my testimony. So based on this analysis, it's my professional opinion that the application satisfies its statutory burden under the SECA balancing test. So since we have C variances regarding the pre-existing nonconformities, I will speak to the C variance. So I believe that the board can grant relief under the C2 statute here. So regarding the positive criteria, statutorily we must satisfy at least one or more purposes of the municipal land use laws purposes. And while I feel that multiple are applicable in this case, I believe the two most pertinent purposes are as follows. Purpose A, which is to encourage municipal action to guide appropriate use or development of all land, state, promote public health, safety, morals, and general welfare. So as the definition I gave earlier, it's very similar to what the solar facilities are inherently beneficial to provide, which is by definition promoting the general welfare and public good. And I believe that purpose N of the municipal land use law is also promoted here. So that is essentially promoting a utilization of renewable energy resources. And in this case, approval of this application would directly advance this purpose through the on-site renewable energy generation. And it is for these reasons, in my professional opinion, that the positive criteria are satisfied. So the negative criteria have already been addressed during the SECA balancing test. So I believe I've already put on record that the proposal will not result in substantial detriment to public good. And regarding the impact on the zone in the master plan, the intent of the L1 zone listed in the plan is to promote development in a manner that protects public health, safety, morals, and a general welfare. And the proposed solar facility aligns with this intent. And further, the proposal is consistent with the township's 2022 master plan reexamination report, which emphasizes conservation of resources and sustainable growth, environmentally responsible development, integration of sustainability into site plan review, and modernization of local energy systems as part of the transition to clean energy technologies. Solar facilities directly advance these goals by supporting distributed renewable energy generation, enhancing grid resilience, reducing energy demand, and facilitating the transition to electric infrastructure. So it's my professional opinion that the application meets its full burden of proof required by the requested variance relief, satisfies both the positive and negative criteria, and can be granted without substantial detriment to public good or impairment to the zone or the master plan.
Thank you.
Any questions for the professional from the board? Joe, do you have?
No, it was great to hear somebody quote from the master plan. The two critical issues, relate to that prong of the SECA test. It says it's a balancing test between the positive and negative criteria, and is there a substantial detriment to the public good? And I think with the corrections that the board talked about earlier with the conditions associated with that, I think that really addresses that critical issue.
Thank you. Any other questions? Any?
Thank you.
None? That being said, is there anybody from the audience? No. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
That's the conclusion of our application.
You want to add anything else to it, or?
No, not really. I think that at the end of the day, like we've indicated, this is an inherently beneficial use. We think that the negative impacts are minimal at best, and with the recommendations of the board and some of the conditions that they imposed, we think those are reasonable, and the application should be approved, and we respectfully request that.
Thank you. I'll open it up for discussion to the board. Anybody have anything?
I'll just say it appears to me that there's very little downside here. Once we have addressed the transformer issue, which I really don't see being a major issue in light of the applicants willing to work with us. So I really don't see the downside here. I think this is a solid application. Should be if I'm improving it in light of addressing the transformer. My big concern was actually seeing aesthetically from the ground, which doesn't seem to be the case, so I'm good.
That's it, yeah. I mean, my biggest question on all of it was the FAA approval, being the proximity to the airport. With that being said, is there anybody from the audience that would like to be heard? No, then I would like to accept the motion.
I'll make the motion to approve application 2025-12. I'm looking for an application number. I don't see it.
20-25-12.
20-25, okay, 20-2512, Solar Landscape LLC. I move to approve for minor site plan approval. Let me make sure I'm correct on this with a D1 variance and a bulk C variance, is that correct? That's what they need?
Yeah, it's the C variances are there and they're not being worsened and they need a D
Okay,
pursuant to the Sika test.
so that my motion would be subject to, which I think we already have in place, the fire code approval.
Fire code compliance,
The issue of the transformer being addressed with, I think, first PSE and G.
yes.
And then if that doesn't work out, going to the owner, right?
Yeah.
And as part of going to the owner, if that's the route that the applicant takes, that would entail the raised curb and the discussion we had earlier about where it would be placed with the bollards, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, and I think Lenny raised the point of, in the event of an emergency, did you want a written plan from, I think the applicant offered a written statement saying, if there's a problem, this is what we do, and this is how we do it, and.
Some type of SOP.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that covers.
And then our normal conditions in terms of paying
Mr.
taxes.
Rego,
Yes.
that may wind up being a requirement. I'm not sure. I know what I had to deal with. That may be a requirement of the fire department. That's-
Right.
Okay,
Okay,
all right.
I think that covers
Chairman?
everything
Which is in the fire codes, okay.
Mr. Morgan?
What is the exact condition with respect to the transformer? As I understand it now, public's PSE&G will be asked if they can move it. In the event that they reply negatively, what is the condition, Mr. Rego?
As I understand it, if they say no, the board would try to get something from them in writing saying, here's why we say no, and blah. If we can get it, fine. If not, we can't. Short of that, we would fall back on somehow, maybe redesigning is too strong of a word, but that area where the transformer is, we talked about maybe removing a couple parking spaces.
Mr. Rego, could we say we want to create a larger buffer zone?
Yeah,
around
A
the
larger
transformer?
buffer zone around the transformer, which might include raising it, putting bollards there and some sort of landscaping to make it look better.
That is going to be one of the conditions.
Yes.
And the removal of 2 parking spaces, is that included?
Well, I don't know if it's 2 or 1 or 3, but that would have to be also okayed by the owner of the property because you're doing work on his property. I'm hoping that when all is said and done, the owner of the property who's not here looks upon this as a good thing to do in terms of relations with the tenant, in terms of relations with the township, and they move forward in a positive way.
And if the owner says no about the removal of the parking spaces, we have to.
Marty,
Why can't we just make it a condition, and if
but
they
they'd have to come back and say, we tried everything, we can't do anything, here's a letter, or PSE&G told us no, the owner says no, we want to have that removed, then we go to Plan C, and I don't know what that would be right now, so, you know,
I would
but,
think they should come back to us.
yeah, they would have to come back to have that condition probably removed. If they can't comply with it, then usually the MO is to come back to us and say, here's why we can't do it, but maybe they can do something else, maybe, but I don't want to borrow trouble, you know, let's just see where this goes.
Because we're not talking about here about aesthetics as much, we're talking about safety. I take seriously the concerns raised by Mr. Carmagnola.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. It could be tricky, hopefully not.
So I have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Okay, and just to confirm, Mr. Iannia will be a voting member, since we have one out.
Why don't we, yeah, let's hold off on,
Yeah, I'll tell him.
okay.
Okay, so we're not gonna have Rich vote and.
Well, he's not sworn
another
in,
alternate, yeah.
and if we don't need him, it looks like we have, what, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 members already, and only 17 votes.
So we would have,
Let's hold Rich off.
and Ivorone.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
we pull in the two, okay. Mr. Mariano,
Yes.
Mr. Honorata,
Yes.
Mr. Baskinger,
Yes.
Mr. Carmagnola.
I'm gonna vote yes, only because I feel that they're gonna do the right thing and get that transformer moved or raised the best they can.
Yep.
I'll vote yes.
Mr. Iannia.
Yes.
Mr. Ivorone.
Yes.
Chairman Travato.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Well, that was-
Lou would like to just take 5 minutes.
Yeah, fine.
Take a break, 5 minutes.
I think the board's gonna take a 5-minute break. New beginnings. I think it's autistic, what are you doing? It's, game conversion. I don't know if we have.
New beginnings. New beginnings. If I could get Tell sworn in.
Initially started on the apartment level. I wasn't happy with the way I was walking, so I went back to the doctor. Okay. I went back to the apartment open.
Is that, to retard it, or, is that to slow it down? Richie just said.
Mitigate.
It says
Reasonable. It works. What Regal told me was, we ignore more. I'm sorry.
So I'll just make,
You? Telling you, you gotta go for a walk out in the cold.
It's good sleeping, good sleeping conditions.
We're not sure, we might let that go. We're gonna go look at John's Hall, she wants to look at the closet. Yeah, we're doing a real presentation. It's gonna be really great. Okay, okay.
Oh, you need a chair? Oh, okay. Somebody went? Somebody went to get one? Okay, great. It's freezing here. Keeps me up. Wake me up. Yeah, it does. I leave for France on Friday. Yeah. I'm going, yeah, I go skiing with a couple of guys from the firm every year. So thank God, as long as I can get out Friday, I don't care what happens over the weekend. I need my flight to get out on time. We're going for a week. Yeah, it's great. It's going to the same place we went to last year. We loved it. It was great. They got a lot of snow too there. Oh yeah. Yeah. Start slow, right? I used to do that. I did that for 20 years, and then I switched back to skiing. Yeah, yeah. I'm an old man. Snowboarding is a young man's game. Yeah, it's great. It's fun. Lou, how you been? Good seeing you.
Until it's finalized and you're not just able to sign this. That's the smart thing.
Yeah, I need gloves. Yeah, that would be nice. You know, I just noticed that for the first time. No wonder why they got the air on.
Not yet.
Okay, we're back on. Business Council, I just want to tidy up something. As far as the memorialization of the resolution for application 2025-5, Shiaka General Contracting, 81 Passaic Avenue, Block 1801, Lot 1.02. I'd like to get a motion for approval of the resolution.
Make a motion.
I'll second
Some more. You have that?
Okay, Mr. Honorata,
Yes.
Mr. Metallo,
Yes.
Mr. Baskinger,
Yes.
Mr. Iania,
Yes.
Mr. Ivarone,
Yes.
Mr. Fiatarolo,
Yes.
Chairman Cafone. I mean, Chairman Travato. Wow. Last week.
Wrong board.
Wrong board.
Last
Yes.
week. All right.
And just one
Sorry,
other note, Mr. Metallo has been sworn in, so he will be a voting member on this application. All right, on to new business. I'd like to hear application 2025-10, New Beginnings, 70 Fairfield Road, Block 903-01, Lot 20. Counselor?
Good evening, Chairman, board members. Yes,
Yes.
thank you. Chairman, board members, Joe Papero from Porzio, Bromberg, and Newman on behalf of New Beginnings for Tomorrow. This application, as noted, involves the property located at 70 Fairfield Road. That's block 903.01, lot 20 on the Fairfield tax map. This property is an existing single-family residence. It's located in the light industrial zone. We are here seeking preliminary and final site plan approval and a D1 use variance to utilize the single-family residence as a residence for individuals with developmental disabilities. As you'll hear this evening and as provided in our materials, this is an inherently beneficial use according to statute and case law that treats individuals and homes for individuals with developmental disabilities as an inherently beneficial use. As you'll hear, that presumptively satisfies the positive criteria of the statute. The applicant does still have the burden of demonstrating that the use can be granted with no negative impacts. The single-family home will be essentially utilized as in its current state. There are some renovations that are in the materials that we submitted. There is a small addition to be added to the home. There is a new deck to be added, as well as a shed and fencing. Similar structures that you would see on any single-family residence. The applicant's architect will come forward in greater detail and talk about the renovations to the single-family residence for its use as a home for individuals with developmental disabilities. New Beginnings for Tomorrow, as you'll hear, it already has a presence in Fairfield, and you'll hear from their representative as to the benefits of having this residence for their occupants at this location. There is a variance that was noted for the new deck. I believe it's a side yard setback. Our witnesses will go into that in greater detail. applicant did receive reports from your planner and your engineer. We are prepared this evening to address those as part of our presentation. We submitted, as I mentioned, as part of our application, a legal memorandum that talks about community residences for individuals with disabilities and how those facilities are treated by the courts in New Jersey as well as by statute. The municipal land use law already recognizes group homes and community residences such as this as permitted in all residential districts. The nuance here is that this single-family home happens to be in an industrial zone. And that's the reason why we're before this board. That's just a really quick overview. I'd like to begin with a representative from New Beginnings for Tomorrow to really go through in detail what the day-to-day operations are, what the organization's mission statement is, and to explain how this single-family residence will be utilized. I'd like to call Carrie Bradford first.
Joe, if I could, how many witnesses do you plan on having?
We have three. We have our representative, our architect, engineer, and our planner.
Thank you. Okay. If you could raise your right hand, please, sir, when you can. With regard to this application, do you swear the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Can you state your name and spell your last name, please?
Hi, my name is Kerry Bradford, Bradford.
Is it Kerry?
Kerry, Kerry.
Thank you.
Mr. Bradford, for the benefit of the board and the public, your position with New Beginnings?
I'm the program director.
And explain just an overview of the services that New Beginnings provides to the community.
Okay, so as we're a nonprofit, we're a 501c3 nonprofit. The services we provide is called dehabilitation. When students graduate at the age of 21, their education kind of ends, but the need for it continues. We are the bridge to the next part of their life. We take them from 21 to end of life, continuing their education. Because of their disabilities, if they don't use the information they've learned over all those years, they lose it. And it's our job to make sure that there's no skill loss.
Mr. Bradford, I mentioned in my overview that New Beginnings already has a presence in Fairfield. Can you talk about the other locations and services that you provide and how this will be sort of a seamless continuity for the residents you serve?
Yeah, I mean, so we have a beautiful facility right down Just Road. You know, members of the town have been for a tour, and they got to see what we do. We put in a lot of safeguards and a lot of educations to improve them socially, give them life skills, for some vocational skills so that they can be active members of society. This is the next step for them. As you know, as they age, so do their parents. And the number one worry of every parent is what's going to happen to my child when we pass away. For us, they've trusted us with their children, and we would like to be able to make sure that they are safe and sound for years and years. And this residential home will be the start of that.
And this residential home is going to be licensed by the DDD, correct?
Yeah, so it'll be licensed by both DDD and DHS. So they will have, we will have to adhere to all their safeguards. We'll be assigned a team that will walk us through every step and make sure everything is followed. We'll be audited, and things like that through them as well.
Now, the
DDD is what? Could you give me that?
Department of, Developmental Disabilities.
State agency.
Yes.
Your architect will come up shortly and go through the home, the details of the building in greater detail. But this single-family residence, this home will be utilized by 4 adult individuals, correct?
Yes.
And for 4 individuals, how many staff members do you need to support?
2 at all times.
And how many shifts will you have?
3 8-hour shifts.
So it's 2 staff members per shift and 3 shifts per day.
Right, with a supervisor on call and checking in and things like that outside of that.
And again, the architect, engineer will talk about the site plan in more details, but I would assume each staff member would have a vehicle, correct?
Yes.
So there would at most be 2 vehicles parked in the driveway, plus I believe there's a van that the organization utilizes?
Yeah, yes, the home would have a van to take them to doctor's appointments and out into the community and things like that.
And would that van transport the residents to the day program?
Yes,
The residents won't be cooking meals. The staff will be doing that. Is that correct?
correct. Yeah.
And also, there's obviously laundry like any single-family home. There's laundry that the staff will assist with.
Yep. Basically, the staff will be their hands.
I mentioned in my overview that one of the very few improvements as far as modifications to the single-family residence that's being proposed is a new deck. The residents obviously will enjoy outdoor space. Is that the purpose of the deck?
Correct.
I noted a shed. Is that shed for what's typical?
Anything that a typical person would have in their home, anything from maybe a
Property maintenance type?
right, tools, property maintenance, supplies.
So in your opinion, the home as it exists today, the single-family home with the modifications that the architect will go into more detail on, this can accommodate the 4 adults as you propose?
Absolutely.
And no issues with the driveway, with the parking? It can accommodate the 2 vehicles?
Yep, absolutely.
Chairman, I have no further questions on direct. Obviously, he's open for board questions.
Okay, it's open to the board. I just have one question. As far as the residents, the 4 residents that will be occupying the location, when they come into the program, are they the 4, will they be there for, you said from 21 to end of life?
Right.
Will those 4 individuals be there? Or is there a turnaround, or are they committed to that home?
Once they're selected to move into the home, that would be their home,
It would be their home?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, Rob?
Do you operate any other type of these facilities?
Residential?
Residential?
No.
Okay, so this is gonna be the first
Correct.
that you're doing of this? Okay. And is there, for lack of a better term, a playbook that you'll be using for these type of individuals that are going to be in the home?
Absolutely. So the DDD would provide a team. They would come in and kind of walk us through the process. We also already have our policies and procedures and all of our training from the dehabilitation that we would be using. The major difference would be 24-hour care. What we do at the day hab is more extensive as far as education and what we have them do. The home would be more of a laid-back setting for them because it's kind of after their work at the day hab.
And will these folks that are in this home have visitors or be allowed visitors?
Yes, yep.
And where would those visitors park?
There should be, spaces available still. Everything would be by appointment.
Okay.
And just like anyone else's home, if someone would like to visit, they make a call. They come in, when they're available.
So you wouldn't foresee a situation where all 4 residents are having family visit on the same?
No, that would be scheduled out. And most likely, if they did visit, they would pick up their child and bring them home with them for the weekend or something like that. It wouldn't be an extensive stay in the home because also there's 3 other people that live there.
So there are times when the residents, they leave for a short period of time, picked up by their family, come back,
Yes.
that type of thing.
Especially weekends, holidays.
The disabilities of these people that are there is what?
I'm sorry?
The disability of the people that are gonna be living there is what? Are they
Primarily autism, Down syndrome, Fragile X.
And the owner of the property is New Beginnings for Tomorrow, Inc., correct?
Correct.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask a question? Mr. Bradford, with regards to the staff and staffing, their primary focus obviously is oversight of the residents.
Safety oversight.
The 3rd shift, the overnight shift, they'll be residing there, also sleeping there.
No one will be sleeping.
No one's sleeping.
Staff will not be sleeping.
So staff is 24 hours a day, 7 days
Correct.
a week, there's no sleepover. In terms of your company owns the property, who's going to maintain the property? Not the attendants that are there. Like, if there's things that need to be done to the residents, just on a day-to-day basis, I'm not talking about structurally or construction or,
Right.
exterior maintenance? I'm talking about, light landscaping, changing bulbs, things of that nature. Who handles that?
So that would be New Beginnings for tomorrow. We'll be taking care of all aspects
So
of that.
you have employees in a maintenance
Correct.
capacity.
Vendors,
come out
yeah.
to the site.
Yep.
So forth and so on. Okay. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
I assume there are 4 bedrooms in the house.
Yes. And the architect going to come up and go through the floor plan.
It,
I'm sorry. You continue.
Second, Martin.
Yeah.
is this co-ed or all men, all women, or some combination?
It can be co-ed, but we would most likely just keep it, primarily with autism and things like that. It's a male-dominated,
okay.
Disability.
Okay.
So.
Thank you.
Mr. Moriano.
Yes. What concerns me, these are exceptional people that are going to be residing at this facility. And what concerns me is and you can address this maybe, council, the negative impact the uses in an L1 zone could have upon their safety.
Sure, we'll have it's a great question. It's part of the proofs that we have to demonstrate. So we'll have our planner go into that for you in better detail.
Let me tell you where I'm coming from. I moved to town 37 years ago. And when I moved to town, across the street from me was a special young girl with cerebral palsy in a wheelchair. And now she's developed from that little girl into an exceptional professional woman who works every single day. And I've seen her needs, and I want to make sure that this facility, in its location, will fulfill the needs of the special people that are going to live in this home. For example, there's a lot of traffic on this road, and I'm worried about what the negative impact the traffic could have upon the egress and the egress onto this facility. So that's where my concern is.
Yeah, it's great questions, and I think from a negative criteria standpoint and impacts, we'll allow the planner to speak to that. But Mr. Bradford, as you know, the safety of these individuals is near and dear to New Beginnings, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
So would you select a location that you believe was dangerous?
Absolutely not. I mean, we chose Fairfield and we chose that location because it is so close to our mothership and all of the resources that we have. So these are our kids, so.
Now, these residents, will they have the occasion to regularly leave the property?
They wouldn't be able to leave on their own, so staff would escort them, from the property.
I mean, do they go to work every single day?
It depends on the individual. So some are able to maintain a job after day program hours, and they would also go on excursions during the weekend based on their interests.
And if they are to leave the property, would a vehicle pull into the driveway?
Yes.
So they're safe, relatively safe for them?
Yes.
That's what concerns me.
Yeah, we operate large vans that are, very well marked and things like that, so you're not going to miss the vehicle.
Thank you.
Thank you, Martin. Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Mr. Carmichael.
Mr. Carey, if I could, I think a few years back, you had to come before this board, or New Beginning had to come before this board to extend the age, I think, to 18 or something, for you to keep these certain children in school there that were with you at that time?
That would have been our sister school, so that would be the Grayman family of schools.
Okay, so
We're a related party, but different entity.
Okay, so now these, I'm going to say children, but they're actually going to be adults now that are going to be moving into here.
21
are the
to
ones that have grown
45.
up in this program all the way across. And by you having this facility here, from what I've seen, it creates a lot of relief on the family, the mother and father. And I've seen it work. I've seen families go through this. And I'm going to tell you a quick story how I was at their facility and I seen this lady crying. And I said, "What's the matter?" She said, "My son learned how to put his socks on." And I said, "What?" She goes, "You don't realize what a relief that is for me and my husband." And I just stood back and I said, "Wow, I can't believe it." And I know another family that has their son in a home like this, and the the adult has turned around to like being an adult. But the mother and father just go pick him up for the weekend and he comes home. And where he is in Boonton, hasn't created a problem at all. It like fits right into like just a regular house, residential household there. And like I can't see a problem with this at all, where it's located and all, but I can vouch for what you're doing though.
Thank
It's
you.
a great thing.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions? Any questions from the audience?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bradford.
Thank you, Mr.
Our
Bradford.
next
Thank you,
witness, our next witness is the project architect and engineer, Anthony Gianfrancaro.
With regard to this application, do you swear, excuse me, the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth?
Yes, I do.
State your name, spell your last name, please.
Anthony Gianfrancaro, G as in George, I-A-N, F as in Frank, O-R-C-A-R-O.
Thank you.
Mr. Gianfrancaro, for the benefit of the board and public, can you provide your education, area of expertise, and the licenses you hold, sir?
Sure, I have a degree from Temple University. I'm a licensed professional engineer in the state of New Jersey. I'm also a licensed architect in the state of New Jersey. I've testified in front of boards of adjustment, planning boards.
Your licenses are both in good
My licenses
standing?
are both in good standing over the last 30 years, a couple hundred times.
Chairman?
Accepted.
Thank you. I know you have a mounted version of the plans that were submitted. Just to be clear for the record, those are the exact plans. They haven't been doctored in any way?
No, that's what plans the board has.
So, Mr. Rago, I don't believe we need to mark those.
If we have it, no.
Okay, great.
No. If there's any change or coloring, then we'd mark it. But
Right.
Other than that, we're okay.
Okay. Is it all right if I stand up here and
Sure.
explain it?
That'd be great.
Okay. So the first sheet is the site plan. You'll see the existing dwelling on the property. The property is a little over 17,000 square feet. There's a single-story dwelling on the property. There is a basement on the building. The basement is only accessible from the front, where there's an overhead door, like a garage door. Currently, you can go up a walkway and up a flight of stairs to get to the upper level or the main level of the house. And I'll get into the architecture after I describe the site. So what we're proposing, again, you could enter into the front door the way it is today. The other thing we're doing is we're proposing a lift on the side of the building for a wheelchair. So there'll be an exterior lift that will raise the person up to a level of the main floor. And we're proposing a new deck with a, let's call it a platform or a boardwalk along the side for the residents to get around to the rear of the dwelling. And then there'll be an entrance off of the new addition that we're putting on the back of the dwelling. We're going to be doing some work on the side of, I would say, it would be the east side of the existing dwelling, because there's a step down in the inside that roof part of the house. We're going to reframe that, but we're not changing the square footage or the footprint of the building in that area. Again, we're going to be proposing an addition out the back, and I'll go through that. We'll show you where the bedrooms are. In addition, off of the deck, there will be a set of stairs. The backyard we're proposing to fence in with a 6-foot-high stockade fence, which is shown on the drawing, a detail of that. There's currently 2 sheds in the back of the property. We want to remove those and put 1 shed. It'll a little better shape than what's there today. And that's really all any site improvements. We're showing out of the front, there's an asphalt driveway. We're showing that we have sufficient parking for 4 vehicles. And you could see that there's actually even more than that, but we're showing that we could easily have 4 vehicles parked in the existing asphalt driveway. That's really all. Oh, well, one other thing that we're proposing on the site would be an air conditioning unit, which would be set on the ground. Those are all the site improvements, just to go over what we're doing to the dwelling.
Just for the record, that was sheet SP1.
That was SP1.
Okay.
All right. If we turn to A1, A1 is the floor plan of both the proposed first floor and the basement level. So on the first floor, there's an existing kitchen that'll be renovated. We're creating 2 full-size bathrooms inside the dwelling. The bathrooms will be accessible, wheelchair accessible. They'll have large showers that someone can easily get into, someone who might be in a wheelchair. Proper toilets, grab bars, and so on for someone who may need help with, due to disabilities. We're in the existing part of the dwelling, we're showing 3 bedrooms. And then in the addition, which you can see is in a darker shade, which is out the back, we're proposing another bedroom. And then in addition to that, we're enlarging what would be a commons area. Commons area is going to be a place for a sofa, television set, where the residents, if they're not in their room, they may want to get together and maybe watch some television together or, interact, like cards or whatever they may want to do. Again, kitchen's up front, 4 bedrooms. Each bedroom has a closet for the residents' clothing and any personal items. And then in the lower level, we're basically not doing anything other than having a laundry, water heater, the heating system. So it's really more of a mechanical space. The addition will not have a basement. As a matter of fact, it will have openings in the foundation because of where we're located within the flood hazard area. So that will be, in the addition, the deck will be up on piers and columns. So again, it's not an issue with the flood area that we're in. That's the floor plan on A1. On A2, you'll see elevations. The elevation D, I'll start from the bottom of the page. Elevation D is the front elevation, which is basically what you see today. We're going to do a little bit of work on the roof because of the addition in the back and the fact that we have to renovate the side, again, the east side of the one part of the dwelling, the asphalt shingle roof. From the side, you can see on elevation B, this is from the east side. This is from the rear of the building, elevation B, I'm sorry, it's from the rear. You'll see this addition. One of the windows would have, is for the bedroom. The other 2 windows will be for the commons area or the living area. You'll see the door off of the deck for the handicapped accessible doorway. Even though all the windows will be egress windows to meet the latest requirement of the International Building Code. And the top elevation is actually the elevation from the side of the property, from the west side looking at the building. So to the left is the driveway, and you'll see the lift adjacent to the deck. That's the proposal as far as what we propose to do to this dwelling to make it accessible for all the residents.
So, Mr. Gianfrancaro, so the aesthetic of the outside will continue to be the aesthetic of a single-family home.
Right, it'll still look like a single family.
So someone driving by would not be able to tell the difference from today versus what's proposed.
Exactly.
And obviously, you mentioned code compliance. This will have to be fully code compliant, not only building, but ADA accessible you've talked about. You have the lift.
Everything will be ADA accessible, not only to get to from the driveway to the ground level up to inside, but also inside the dwelling itself will all be accessible.
The deck, I mentioned in my overview that we are seeking a variance for the setback of the deck to the property and to the side property line. Can you just identify that for the board and the public? Our planner will come forward and provide the planning proofs, but just for the board's edification, can you show where that exists?
Sure, on the, I guess it would be like the southern part of the property. The property has the property line itself is somewhat at an angle, and as it passes by the building, it gets, the setback actually overlaps onto the existing dwelling itself. The 25-foot side yard setback, you'll see, clips the existing structure. The deck itself will be within that setback, and we're showing 11.6 feet to the side yard for the deck.
And that side yard will be fenced with a solid privacy fence?
Yes, and we show the details of the fence on SP1.
You've had an opportunity to review the reports by both the board planner and engineer, is that correct?
Yes.
Any issues that need response, or can all of these be addressed as a condition of approval?
We don't have any issues with anything we saw.
Chairman, I have nothing further on direct for this witness.
Thank you. Thank you. I have one question, Mr. Carl. As far as I noticed, is there any designated area for staff as far as office or?
No, what the staff will be, again, they'll be, in the commons area. The staff will be in the kitchen area also, doing the cooking. We have a little area where we have a little kitchen table where they could sit at. But I think there'll be, I think that's more of a question for New Beginnings, but I think they'll be tending to the residents also. But no, there's no offices.
Yes, fine.
Will there be a sprinkler system or fire alarm system of any kind?
No, there won't be. It's not required for this size dwelling. When you get into the requirement for a sprinkler system, you look at the type of construction and the square footage. We're well under what's permitted for, this is type 5B construction, which is, a lot of people use the word stick build, okay? It's wood frame construction. I think we're allowed to go up to close to 7,000 square feet before we require to have a sprinkler system. So it's not required in this setting. We will have proper egress windows in all the bedrooms.
And it would just have your typical smoke alarm system?
Yes, oh,
and
absolutely.
Carbon monoxide then?
Yes.
No fire alarms, right? Meaning electronic?
Exactly, and then it would have to be all hardwired today.
Right.
All your smoke detectors, so that if, God forbid, a fire were to break out in one room, everybody would know. It would automatically set off the alarms in all the other rooms.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, just going on.
will that alarm system be monitored 24/7 by like a central station somewhere?
We
Yes.
haven't discussed.
Well, I'm getting the nod, yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Could you explain to me how a person in a wheelchair could access the second floor where the residents?
Sure.
Would they have to go onto the deck?
Yes, so if you look at the site plan, right in front of where we say parking spot number 2, okay? Directly in front of that, you'll see a rectangle, and it says new chairlift.
Yes.
So it's actually a lift that's rated for outdoors, okay? If you get rained on, it's protected in that way. And the wheelchair actually goes onto this lift. It's a platform. There's a door that comes behind it, so that they're safe. They're completely enclosed with a guard, 42 inches high, and then you push a button, and it would need assistance. There would be a support staff member with that, and you push a button, and the lift actually goes all the way up to the elevation of where the deck is, okay? So along the side of the building, we have a walkway, which is a raised platform, which is the same elevation as the deck, and they would get up to that elevation. The door would now open on that side, and they would proceed out onto this boardwalk or walkway, and then go around to the back and enter into the building from the back on the deck.
And you have 4 parking spaces. How would a a vehicle for special needs people access the site? Would it have to go in the driveway, or
They would
just?
go in the driveway. They would pull into the driveway, and it would be a van type if, someone's in a wheelchair. The wheelchair, I'm sure we've all seen them where, there's a lift in the actual van itself that helps the person get down to the asphalt, and then they wheel themselves, or, someone wheels them over to this lift, and then they go up to the second floor, or the main.
What concerns me is there's 4 parking spaces. How would a special needs vehicle access the site if there were 4 vehicles parked in the driveway?
Well, it would have to be coordinated, obviously. I mean,
Right.
when somebody's bringing a resident back, again, I think it was mentioned that there'll be two cars there, in a van. So, they may, the two support staff may park, head to toe on the one side, and then the van pulls up, alongside, and they exit out of the van that way.
That's correct.
It would be coordinated.
Mr. Bradford's testimony was that there would only be 2 staff member vehicles there at any one time, and then the van. So that would be 3. I think the purpose of the exhibit is to show that you could fit 4 if a parent came to pick up a child.
Mr. Gianficaro, what's the operating system of the lift? In other words, the individual in the wheelchair is going to have an attendant with them, is that correct?
Yes.
And then is there a lockout system so that someone couldn't arbitrarily get on the lift, whether it be a resident or just a kid in the neighborhood?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. It could be key operated, and then this way, and it's protected, whereas the door at the top can't open, you can't step down.
Right.
If the lift is at the bottom.
Right.
It's all interlocked.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions from the member?
Thank you. Oh, did we want to have to open up to the public?
All right, so, anybody from the audience wish to be heard? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our final witness is our planner, Kate Keller.
Hi, everybody. Good evening.
Hi. If you could raise your right hand, please, when you're ready. Thank you. With regard to this application, do you swear the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Could you state your name and spell your last name, please?
Sure. My name is Kate. Last name is Keller, Keller.
First name is Kate.
Yes, Kate.
Kate Keller. Thank you.
Ms. Keller, for the benefit of the board and public, could you provide your education, area of expertise, and the licenses you hold?
Sure. So I am currently a principal with the firm of Phillips Price, Greigel, Laney, Keller, based in Hoboken, New Jersey. I'm a licensed professional planner in the state of New Jersey and have been since 2014. I hold bachelor and master's degrees from the University of Pennsylvania. I have a master's in city planning, and I've been working as a professional planner in New Jersey for, this will be year 16. And I've provided testimony before about 100 boards across the state.
And your licenses are currently in
Yes,
good
it is.
standing? Chairman? Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Keller, you're familiar with the master plan and the land development ordinance of Fairfield, is that correct?
Yes, I am.
And you have reviewed the proposal that's been prepared by the architect and planner for the improvements to utilize the single-family residence as a group home or a residence for individuals with developmental disabilities, correct?
Yes, I have.
You are aware that we are before this board for a D1 use variance as this site's located in a limited industrial zone?
Yes.
And are you prepared to provide planning testimony in support of that variance?
Yes, I am.
You can continue.
Sure. Okay. Thanks, everybody. So I did prepare, in accordance with your checklist, development checklist, I did prepare a planning report, which lays out most of our case. But I'm going to, kind of follow along that if it's in your packet, and then also kind of expand on some of the items that have come up tonight. So yes, as our attorney just stated, we are here tonight for a D1 variance for a community residence for persons with developmental disabilities. As was alluded to, the beginning of the introduction here is that this is kind of a unique situation because per state statute, and this has been the case, I believe, ever since the MLUL was originally adopted back in the 70s, is that this type of use, the community residence for developmentally disabled people, is a permitted use in all residential zones in the state of New Jersey. So that's one of the few areas where the MLUL really overrides local zoning. Like, child care centers in non-residential zones, that's really about the limit there. But so here, while we have a single-family residential house, and it's surrounded by a couple other single-family residential homes, we are in an L1 light industrial district. So that's why we're here tonight. Otherwise, if this was a single-family residential zone, the state law and the case law really says that this operates the same as it to be treated the same as a single-family dwelling. So otherwise, we would be able to get a zoning permit. But we're here tonight because we are in that limited industrial zone. And so, this is kind of a unique situation here. And when we go through the planning proofs for the D1 variance, we look at this, as you heard in the last application as well, as an inherently beneficial use. This is defined in the Municipal Land Use Law 4055D4. The definition includes use universally considered of value to the community because it fundamentally serves the public good and promotes the general welfare. Such a use includes a group home. So that really, with other references in the municipal land use law, it's referring to this exact type of use, a community residence for the developmentally disabled. So, we go through here, again, this is outright permitted in residential zones, but here, because it's inherently beneficial, we go again back to the 4-part SECA balancing test. And, just going to go through this in brief. And this really is this is for the board to review both positive, negative criteria here, because the positive criteria is inherently met because it's inherently beneficial, but the SECA test is intended to provide a framework for your review of the impacts. So we look at the public interest at stake and how the use rates on the scale of such uses. This is a statutory inherently beneficial use, universally considered of value. And so that really gives us a high degree of benefit to the community. Really, the provides the opportunity, and this is from the words of the legislature when the MLUL was amended, to provide opportunity to live in a residential community rather than an institutional environment and receive shelter and supervision appropriate to their needs. So in summary, this furthers the public good, health, safety, and welfare, and that's why it's generally permitted in the state. And I think for here, in this case, we can look at this as having a very high degree of positive impact. So then you look at the potential harmful impacts from the grant of the variance. And typically what we do here is we look at, how this use may impact surrounding properties. But as was brought up by one of the board members earlier, this is kind of a case where I think you have to look at it both ways too, because this is an industrial zone, and there's a reason that dwellings are not usually in industrial zones. So, we're mostly looking at kind of compatibility, I would say. And the first I would say is that this area, so I look back at your zoning and master plans, and as far as I can tell, this area, these houses were built in the mid to late 50s, and this area has always been zoned industrial ever since Fairfield first adopted a zoning plan. So there's always been a little bit of a mismatch here with the uses. And I think, because they are on smaller lots, they're not necessarily appropriate for industrial redevelopment, and even in the past. And then the other thing that I think is important to note here is that this is really kind of a transitional area where, right across the street from here on the other side of Fairfield Road, you have the Highway Development District. And what you really have here is the core of the township's industrial district, the heavier, the bigger uses, it's really further to the north, in my opinion, further north and east. And if you look at the surrounding uses here, what you really have are, you have the residential uses up and down Fairfield Road in the immediate vicinity. You have commercial uses, you have restaurants, you have smaller uses such as that. And then the larger building to the south is the Polish Slavic Credit Union building. So, well, that's a commercial use, it's permitted in the light industrial zone, but it's not what I would characterize as a light industrial use. So, that the building abuts that property, abuts their parking lot, and then besides that, it really just abuts residential zones. So, I think that that's something, the location of the site here is obviously something that the program considered, that that New Beginnings considered when they first purchased this property, because the first priority for the organization is the safety of their residents. And as you've heard, this is going to be upgraded and equipped with all ADA compliant, safe renovations. And just given the site's location, I don't see the surrounding industrial district having a negative impact on this. There's going to be available outdoor space on the deck. Everything's going to be safety first. So I think that is something where I don't see any harmful impacts of this use, because we just talk about that as well. This really is going to function very similarly to a residential use, a single family residential home, for all intents and purposes. The transport in the mornings to the day program will all occur together. There will be much less traffic than would be for a industrial use, especially, but even less than you might see for a residential home where people are coming in and out all day, something like that. And so everything is going to be coordinated, everything's going to be arranged with the program, and so that's another benefit here. You have that really hands-on type of management that will limit impacts. Then we look at conditions which could be imposed to ameliorate or limit the impacts. And here, I think, like we said, there's going to be minimal impacts in my opinion, and per the testimony that was given by the operator. But one of the things that they are proposing is to provide new fencing in the side and rear yards, so it's going to have some enhanced privacy. I believe that the neighbors already have a fence because they do have an in-ground pool, but we're going to just really enhance that to really keep it private and keep everyone safe. So, the community residents will also comply with all of the standards in the state code for that they have to get their approvals by those state agencies that were mentioned earlier as well. And then finally, the fourth and last prong of the SECA test is weighing the positives, the public interest against the potential harmful impacts and the imposition of conditions if needed. And in my opinion, based on what I just presented, I think the positive benefits of this proposal substantially outweigh the detriments, of which I really see very few with this current proposal that's here right now. It's going to stay for all appearances and really for use as a single-family residential district. And it is already a single family, it already is a pre-existing nonconformity, and it could stay there indefinitely. So, there's this property has been residential, the properties around it have remained residential, and it will be continuing with that character. So I think that based on the SECA test, I think that the positive criteria is met, and to go on to the negative criteria, we have to address that for everything, even for inherently beneficial uses. We've shown that the granting of the variance will not result in substantial detriment to the surrounding area and will not substantially impair the intent and purpose of the master plan. So in terms of the public good, this, again, I don't want to repeat myself, but again, I really don't see substantial detriment. It'll operate and appear as a single family dwelling. There will be 4 residents and 6 staff members cycling throughout the day. So a maximum of 4 residents who will not drive. There will be sufficient on-site parking that will be monitored and coordinated as was previously testified to. So there's not going to be anybody pulling up to the curb on Fairfield Road. Nothing like that is going to happen here, because that is not how this organization runs this dwelling, because that's safety first, like I said. And so, just based on appearances, it will not look any different than the surrounding neighborhood and the surrounding dwellings as well. It'll just be a different type of household. That's really how the state sees this, a different type of household occupying the site. In terms of the master plan, I don't see any substantial impairment to the intent. This is consistent with the township's definition of family. Does not disrupt the single family character with a different type of household. And I think, as I said before, this lot is undersized for the zone, and this is really more of a transitional area on the edge of the industrial district rather than in the core. So it's unlikely to be redeveloped for that type of use. And to once again pull out the 2022 master plan reexamination, we think meets the following goals and objectives that are set forth in there, which are to maintain land use patterns in residential neighborhoods, which really this is. This area is a small residential neighborhood, in keeping that character. Provide a mix of housing in accordance with the township's affordable housing obligations, which, we are not proposing that, but this is something that provides a mix of housing for residents of the community. And then also to maintain the densities and scales and character of residential zones, which again, we're on the border, but what we are doing is keeping that scale and keeping the existing backyard buffer in place and enhancing it with the proposed fencing. So in conclusion, I think that this proposal can be granted, the DVAT1 variance can be granted in accordance with the requirements for a inherently beneficial use. And just to address briefly, I'm going to just talk about the C variance quickly, and then we can go through the planner's report if we'd like. The C variance that we're requesting was laid out in detail more by our architect/engineer, but we are requesting a variance for the deck, which is 11.6 feet from the side yard property line. This is as you can see on the exhibit that's up there, this is a kind of awkwardly shaped property or irregularly shaped property where the southerly, on plan right, that side yard property line, takes a very sharp turn there. And so, as was testified to, there's already an existing nonconformity, and I think that the benefit of providing a deck here for anybody, for any family, but especially for this type of household where it outweighs the detriments. It's elevated in a way because of the grading of the site, and there will be fencing, there's existing trees in between, and I don't see any negative impact of this. I think the benefits outweigh the detriments in terms of both the flexible C criteria. So the only other item I would like that's in the planning report, which from Burgess dated 11/24/25, there is a request under number 2 under site plan review for relief for a parking variance. This is kind of it cites your residential parking requirement for the, which requires 2.5 parking spaces, including 2 garage spaces for residential uses. I don't think we have formally requested this variance because it's kind of a unique thing here where it's not exactly a 4-bedroom residential home. We're here tonight because it's a group home, but I think that we don't provide the 2 garage spaces, but we provide a total of up to 4 vehicles will be able to be accommodated on the site, and I think that the testimony's been provided about how that will be managed. I think that, again, the benefits outweigh the detriments. This is an existing dwelling that was built without a garage, and it wouldn't necessarily be appropriate to go into the setback even more, to expand the dwelling in a way that's just not necessary in order to accommodate the vehicles. I believe that's it, but did I miss anything? Okay, I'm happy to answer any questions.
That's great,
I
thank
have a
you.
question.
Yes.
So have you ever seen a facility like this in other towns operate in a light industrial zone?
I have. I have, and I've seen them operate in several zones. Because one thing is that, as a planner, I serve a number of municipalities. I also do consulting on the private side. But when these type of developments are in residential zones, we don't see them because they just go to the zoning officer and they just get a stamp on it. They get a permit. They don't come to the board. But there are cases where these type of uses they do come to the board because they're either in like a commercial zone or on the edge of a light industrial zone. So I'm racking my brain. I cannot remember what municipality it was, but I just came across one.
So I fully understand what you told us and what's stated in your report, but I look at this a little differently. The question in my mind, from a zoning perspective, is this: why is it okay to have a residence like this in a light industrial zone? Why is that permissible? Why should that be permissible? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Sure. I mean, I would defer back to my testimony because I think that what you have to look at here is that this is a unique case. This is not we're not taking a site that's been vacant, a site that was previously used for industrial. We're taking a site that is a single-family dwelling that's in the midst of other single-family dwellings that have been there for, they've maintained that status, single-family dwelling since over 70 years now, about 70 years. And, to me, especially the fact that these are just on the edge of the industrial zone, there's more smaller, more neighborhood type commercial uses around it. I think that this is a special case. I would, I would not be saying the same thing here and I don't think that the applicant would have chosen this site if we were talking about, a small strip of land between a warehouse and some kind of plant or something
So
like
I think
that.
what your testimony is telling me then is due to the unique factual makeup of this case and its location, and if I had to categorize it, I think you're saying that this would be in the mild end of a light industrial zone. Is that right?
Yes, I am. I am saying that, both based on the uses and even based on the map.
And in light of that, with respect to the residences that would reside there, you don't foresee any detrimental impact to them?
I don't. First and foremost, I would defer to my client because this is what they do. This is they know their residents, they know their students, they know the population that they serve, and they would not choose a site that would be too loud or too disruptive or anything of that nature, because the vast majority of the time in home is going to be spent in the home, and then the deck is also on the rear. And so, there's not like a big front porch on the front, not going to be overlooking Route 46, anything like that. So I think it's an appropriate location.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Anyone else?
Mr. Chairman? Yes. Just to get something clear in my head. Mrs. Keller, you have an existing residential home in a light industrial area. As you stated, if we were in a residential neighborhood, we wouldn't have the pleasure of meeting you guys tonight, correct?
That's correct.
We look at the property, it's an irregular property, but it's an existing non-conforming property. And it's, in reality, the square footage of the property in a light industrial zone, in the L1 zone, is too small for really any other use than what it's being used for, am I correct?
Yes, I agree. And I would even say that even if you took like the row of residences, I think you're not going to get any type of modern industrial use there. It's too shallow. It's just not appropriate.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Joe, would you like to?
Just a few comments. It's interesting, there's a certain dichotomy in the legislation because it distinguishes community residences as a permitted use in non-residential zones, but then there is case law that says you treat them as a single-family house, a single-family residence. So there's that issue that you've got to weigh when you make your deliberations. But as has been pointed out, on either side of this lot, there's single-family dwellings. So that minimizes the overall impact vis-a-vis any non-residential use near the site, and conversely, it's being occupied as a single-family dwelling, so it doesn't adversely affect the adjoining lots on either side. What's interesting, and I forget who was just speaking on that side of the table, but the ordinance requires for non-residential, for the light industrial use in this zone, a 40,000 square foot lot. This lot is less than half that size. So consequently, it's not going to be developed for a permitted use. So I think you have to weigh all of that information, when you have your deliberations. Also, with respect to the SECA test, we talked earlier this evening, and Kay talked about it on this case, that the fourth prong of that of the SECA test is you weigh the positive and the negative criteria and determine if there's a substantial detriment to the public good or impairment to the zone plan. And when you recognize that the immediate vicinity is single family, I think that's an important element that you should give consideration to. And we haven't even touched upon the need for this kind of facility as a general proposition in the region.
That being said, anybody from the audience like to be heard? No?
Thank you.
Thank
Ms.
you all.
Keller. Chairman, that concludes our presentation this evening.
Okay, I'll bring it to the board. Any discussion or comments?
I don't think we need a lot of discussion on
No.
this. I'm prepared to make a motion. I would move to approve application 2025-10, New Beginnings for Tomorrow. We don't have any conditions on this one.
I don't-
believe,
I
correct?
don't-
I just want to make sure we're okay. on that.
Other than normal licensing,
normal
but I
license, right.
picked that up in the normal conditions anyway, so we're good,
Are
we're
we
good.
going to seek the approval for the D variance and the C variance, correct?
Yes, and I think we're minor site plan, Joe, also?
I think it's
Yeah.
And minus
preliminary and finals. I think it was flagged as major by the engineer, if I'm not mistaken. It says preliminary and final majors, site plan.
Looking at,
Major?
No, it's not a major. I don't even think it was a minor. I think it was just a use variance, with the C variance.
okay,
Okay.
whatever.
So
Whatever.
I
Yeah,
move
just
to
the C variance,
I move to approve the application with those variances.
I'll second it. Can I say, Mr. Chairman, I listened to the cross of Mr. Honorata. I've listened to the testimony of the planner, and this is a one-family house among other one-family houses. And I don't see how this differs from any other residential use. I mean, I had concerns about safety and incompatibility of this use in an L1 zone. They've been met. So as far as I'm concerned, there's no negative impact on the zone plan or the zoning ordinance. You know, I see benefit to the community in having such a use in our community. Quite frankly, I welcome it, and I'll second the motion.
okay, and now, so Mr. Metellus, you've
Is-
taken the oath,
He's-
so we'll be a voting member, and we'll just have, Mr. Ianni as the
Available.
alternate.
Rest
Mr.
in-
Moriano,
Yes.
Mr. Honorata,
Yes.
Mr. Metallo,
Yes.
Mr. Baskinger,
Yes.
Mr. Carmignola,
Yes.
Mr. Ianni,
Yes.
Chairman Travato.
Yes.
Thank you very much for your time and consideration. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to the community. Thank you. And thank you.
I'll take another 2-minute break.
Do you want?
Yeah, I'm okay.
It is.
I'm sure I'll see you.
No, I've checked. Yeah, no, it's fine, fine.
I don't know if we need to transfer. I'll find out.
No, it's absolutely
Steve,
fine.
we're gonna take 2 minutes.
Okay, and, yeah, just everybody turn off their microphones. I'm not, it still may go out. We'll try to shut it, but so, just kill your microphone.
still live. Are you still alive? Jesus. I haven't seen you in a while. I have not.
Yep. Should be good, right?
Next application is 2025-7, Flores Baseball Training, 11 Stewart Place, Block 5702, Lot 3. Council.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and member of the boards. Good evening. My name is Dylan DiCasino. I am from the law offices of Kiai and Associates, which is located at 277 Fairfield Road, Suite 120 in Fairfield, New Jersey. I'm here tonight representing the applicant, Mr. AJ Flores. He is the owner and operator of Flores Baseball Training LLC, which is located at 11 Stewart Place and identified on the municipal tax map as Block 5702, Lot 3. The applicant tonight is before the board seeking a D1 use variance pursuant to the municipal land use law to permit the operation of an indoor baseball training facility, a use which is currently not permitted in Fairfield's light industrial 2 zone. In addition to the use variance, the applicant seeks variance relief related to the parking requirement. 37 spaces are actively provided on the site, and 68 are required by ordinance, as well as recognition and continuation of 2 existing prior non-conforming conditions, specifically lot coverage and impervious coverage, which pre-exist the proposed use and are not being expanded or intensified by this application. In support of this application tonight, we'll be providing testimony from 3 people in the following order. First, the board will hear from Mr. Frank Matarazzo. He's the applicant's licensed professional engineer, and he will address the parking supply and demand, the traffic circulation, and site conditions, which should illustrate the application's low-intensity appointment-based nature of the use. Second, the applicant himself will testify, and he will discuss the day-to-day operation of the facility, including the hours of operation, the class sizes, the scheduling, and any supplemental parking demand that may need to be discussed. And last, the board will hear from Mr. Peter Steck. Mr. Steck is the licensed professional planner for the application. He will address the positive and negative criteria for the requested D1 use variance. And he will testify that the baseball training facility is particularly suited for this property. It advances the purposes and zoning under the MLUO, and that granting the relief sought will not substantially impair the intent and purposes of the zone plan or the zoning ordinance. Taken together, the testimony will demonstrate that under the enhanced quality of proof required for a D1 use variance, the benefits of the proposed use substantially outweigh any potential detriments, and that the additional variance relief can be granted without negative impact on the surrounding area or the zoning scheme. And at the conclusion of this testimony, the applicant will respectfully request that the board grant the requested D1 use variance, the associated parking variance, and the approval to continue the existing prior non-conforming conditions, subject to reasonable and customary conditions. And informally, if I may, before I ask to bring up Mr. Matarazzo, I'd like to extend my well wishes to Mr. LaPerry, who I know is not here tonight, recovering from his operation. So we wish him well on behalf of our firm, and also on behalf of my firm, I am here in place of Mr. John Kiai, my associate. If you are unaware, he has just been last week confirmed by the state Senate to become a Superior Court judge in Essex County. So on behalf of him, he sends his well wishes to the board, and he thanks you for everything. I appreciate that. I'll make sure to do it if he's not already watching and supporting me from afar. If it's all right with the board, I'd like to bring up Mr. Matarazzo.
Steve, how are we on those? We're good. Raise your right hand, please. With regard to this matter, you swear that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, so help you God. I do. Thank you. State your name, spell your last name, please.
Frank Matarazzo, M-A-T-A-R-A-Z-Z-O.
Thank you.
Yes.
Superior Court, baby. You'll be in front of him.
He's accepted? No need to?
You'll be in
Okay.
front of him.
Are you sure?
God. I'm assuming you're calling him as an engineer.
Yes, and if you,
Okay, and A1, it looks to be a colorized site plan, or something similar, okay.
and,
Thank you.
and just to confirm from his prior testimony from in front of this board, he is accepted for his qualification. Okay. Mr. Matarazzo, have you reviewed and prepared the site and the application materials, as well as Mr. Berry's engineering report? Okay, would you care to offer your testimony on behalf of all that?
Yes. So just as an overview, the site's located on the northwesterly corner of Gardner Road and Stewart Place. The property is approximately 80,000 square feet lot area. There's a 28,000 square foot, one-story masonry building located on the site. There's two driveways, one entrance off of Gardner Road, another driveway on Stewart Place. Overall, there's 37 parking spaces on the site. There's 14 located in the front, Gardner Road side, in addition of 2 handicap spaces. There's also 14 parking spaces located to the rear of the site, the northerly side, and there's 7 parallel parking spaces located along the western side of the building. The proposed use is going to be just a tenant space inside the existing building. We're not proposing to expand any building area or any impervious area as part of this application. Basically, the site is going to operate as it currently does, with no changes to the parking layout or the traffic circulation.
Okay. And in terms of the traffic circulation, what type is generated by the use?
Well, there's going to be staff parking, which is estimated to be about 3 to 4 parking spaces. And the staff will park to the rear or the northerly side of the building. Then there's parent drop-off for the kids who are going to use the facility. There's 14 parking spaces located in the front of the building, or Gardner Road side of the building. But that's for parents who intend on staying the time. But a majority of the parents will just drop off and then leave and come back and pick up the child.
Yeah. And in terms of the actual transportation of the parents, do you feel that there are any safety concerns in particular to the ingress and egress from Stewart Place based upon the traffic that happens from the use?
No, none at all.
With that, I have no more further questions.
Thank you. Any questions from the board?
Just one. So of the parking that's, 28 in the 7, so 35, is half of that designated for the baseball facility? Is that what you're saying?
The baseball facility, I think they have a lease for, in their lease, maybe 22, I believe. Is that correct?
That sounds about right, yes.
Is there a tenant in Unit 2 side right now?
Yes. It's a warehouse.
Yes.
So in their lease, that's the rest remaining parking spaces?
Correct.
What type of business is that?
It's a tile warehouse, and I believe that Mr. Steck in his planning testimony will discuss the nature of that. Yep.
This may be a question for the applicant.
Yes.
But you had stated as far as parent drop-off, I don't know what his rules of operation are, but typically in those type of environment, that there is no parent access to the facility, they're just dropping off.
The applicant will testify to that, yeah.
Quick question, there's
Yes.
only one entrance to the facility in the front of the building to go into the baseball facility?
There's a front entrance and a rear entrance. The rear entrance would be for the employees.
Okay.
There's also a loading dock,
Mm-hmm.
which they don't use. Yeah. In Mr. Berry's letter, he brings up an issue about the waste management. There currently is a dumpster that they use located in the back of the building.
The applicant will provide
Is there
further
any other-
testimony on that.
Any other questions? Anybody from the audience?
Okay, thank you. If it pleases the board, I'd like to call the applicant AJ Flores now.
Sir, could you raise your right hand, please, with regard to this application? Do you swear the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Could you state your name and spell your last name, please?
Anthony Flores, Flores.
Thank you.
Mr. Flores, you are the owner and operator of Flores Baseball Training LLC.
Yes.
How long have you been operating a training facility?
I've had the company since 2017, and we opened up our original facility. It was right, I think it was 2020. Would have been right when all the stuff happened with COVID.
Right. And would you like to describe some of the teaching and training methods and coaching methods you do at this facility?
Yes, so we offer small individual training, small group training, team training, camps, clinics, and all types of things like that. Primarily, it's small group instruction and team practices. We do stuff there.
And in general, what type of ages are you working with?
You could have anywhere from 7 to about 15, 16 years old. And they're broken up by age. You're not going to have them all at the same time. So if you have 7-year-olds, you have 7-year-olds, 9-year-olds, same thing going all the way up.
Okay. Segue nicely into this. What are the hours of the operation of your facility?
Mr. Casino, can you turn your mic on? Thank you.
Okay.
Better. Yeah, thank you. What are the hours of your operations?
During the week, it's 4 to 9. So right after school, typically kids will head over, and then the weekend, it's 9 to 9. And one of the big things that we wanted to say is that it is January to March is typically really just the busy season there. Once you get to March, we kind of spend most of the time outside.
Right. So the nature of this use would only be essentially for the winter months.
Correct.
And during the spring and the summertime, when it's nice out, your players are out playing conventional high school schedule.
Yeah.
As such. And if I'm correct, you just became, on a side note, the coach of the middle school team at West Essex.
Yes.
So a lot of your work would be done with that team and outside with some of the same players.
Yes, I'll be with the middle school team. Yep.
Right. How many players are typically on the site during the hours of your operation? And do they come at one time, or are they flowing essentially by what would be an appointment, hourly, 2 hours, however it is?
So with the private lessons, people would usually come for 30 minutes or an hour. That'd be your private instruction time. A practice could be anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half. And kids are coming in, they're coming out. We try and stagger times as best as possible, so there's not really ever too big of an influx of kids coming in and out at the same exact time. Sometimes it was even like how we were just talking about when I was showing you the security cameras. You could have like there's 8 kids there, right? Or at 8:30 when we first looked at it. Max you'd have is about a team or 2, and a team could have 10 to 12 kids. But again, we do stagger the time, so there's really not too much going on.
Okay. And I just want to clarify, by practice and teams, they're not doing any sort of scrimmaging or games. It's just a team will come as a group and they'll train together, and maybe in one section you'll have a bay of hitting, and in one section you'll have a bay of pitching. In no world are you having essentially what amounts to an indoor game under a roof.
Correct. So even for the smallest of kids, 7-year-olds, you still wouldn't even be able to play a game in there. It's just the way it's set up, the way the poles are, the way the nets are and everything. So the most you could do is a practice.
Mr. Flores, how many employees do you employ, and how many are usually there at one given time?
I would say about 10 total, and then most you really have is 3 or 4, and that'd be including me.
Okay, so there's never a need during your use to have all your employees there on staff.
No.
You're never having such a event that you would put on where you need that in any way.
No, we would never have all the staff there.
And for the board's knowledge, where do you and the rest of your employees typically park?
So we park in the loading dock area, so it slants down a little bit. You can actually fit 4 cars in there. So we just see whoever's going to be there the longest. They'll park closest to the door of it, and then the other 2 will park behind. But we don't even use any of the actual spots that are there.
Yeah, and more importantly, the parking particularly the drop-off for the parents with the kids. You don't use the loading docks in any way. It's all in the front. So the loading dock area, if it's used at all for parking purposes, is for employees.
Correct. We used the loading dock once when we had the turf delivered, and other than that, I don't even think we've ever even opened the door for it. And like you said, everything is drop-off. We actually even have a sign on the front of our turf area. There's only coaches and players allowed. Parents aren't allowed to come out and watch their kids, and it's also just to kind of discourage them from trying to even hang out in there, and it helps the kids because they're not focused on staring at their parents. They can focus on the actual sport.
Right. And just to follow up on that, you don't typically have any service vehicles or any type of delivery going through the lot.
No.
It's essentially just drop off and pick up.
Correct.
And in terms of the drop off and the pickup, what do you typically see in terms of how many cars maybe are coming in at one time? Is it a carpool situation where maybe 3 or 4 kids come at once, or are they being dropped off individually? What typically do you deal with in terms of the actual transportation?
You see a mix of it. So you do see some carpool because a lot of the kids are local. Parents are working, so you have one mom or dad will bring 3 or 4 kids. Or you'll see some of them do solo drop-offs, but you really don't see too many cars there. Again, we do stagger the times, everything to avoid any like hecticness when kids are getting dropped off, people are going out getting picked up. So it's really not too many cars. I would say 5, 6, maybe even 7 cars.
Right, and just to clarify, parents, if they would like to supervise and watch their kids while you train them, they have the right to do that, in which case they would be parked there for the half hour, the hour. And in a worst-case scenario, how many spots do you think would even be used if, let's say, every parent of every kid wanted to all watch them all at the same time?
Well, again, like I said, you can't go on the turf. We don't even allow them. So the most you'll see is maybe 4 or 5 parents hanging around, like in the lobby area that we have set up. We do have like a table, a couple tables in there. We have a couple stools for them just in case. But most of them, like I said, they do just drop them off. So we would never really get that situation where all of them are trying to stay and watch just because of the way we have the practices set up.
And just one question, which I want to bring up about your dumpster storage. There's a comment from Mr. Berry's report. I just wanted to address how you utilize your dumpster and your trash and where and how that is stored on the lot.
So the dumpster is in the back. It is on wheels. I don't know the exact size. It's a smaller dumpster, but we just keep it to the side. It doesn't take any spots or anything, but we'd obviously be willing to do anything that we need to change it if there's any amendments to how we're setting it up or anything like that.
Okay. I have no more further questions of the applicant.
Any questions from the board? No, I think you did a good job in answering all of my questions. Cross-examination.
Just one question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know if there's legal parking on Gardner at all? Is that a non-parking or parking?
So the street, if you're in the entrance across the opposite side of the street, you are allowed to park there. We haven't really seen it, but I know you are if you really got down to it and needed spots. Yeah.
Anybody from the audience? Thank you.
Thank you.
Members of the board, sorry to bring up Mr. Steck. No, sorry out of me.
If you could raise your right hand, please. Thank you. With regard to this application, do you swear the testimony that you're about to give shall be the truth? So help you God.
I do.
Just state your name and spell your last name for the record.
Peter Steck, S-T-E-C-K.
Your licenses are still in effect and valid and, well, okay.
Yes, it's still in effect. Thank
It's
you.
up to the board, but we've qualified Mr. Steck before as a planner.
Thank you, board. Mr. Steck, you have prepared and reviewed a planning evaluation report dated October 1st, 2025.
That's correct.
And you're familiar with a board review by Ms. Allison Fahey in relation to the application?
Yes.
Would you care to provide your testimony on the application?
Yes, I'll briefly go through my report. I assume board members have it in proximity. This is an industrial building in the middle of an industrial area. If you look on page 1 of my report, there is a satellite photo where I've labeled parts of the building. The part closest to Gardner Road is where this facility is, and there is a 3,900 square foot, what would normally be an office area in the front, and then there's an open, high-ceilinged area on the balance of the building. Prior to this, the occupant was a chemical company. The other, essentially half of the building, is Pro Tile Distributors. It's a very quiet use. They don't have people coming there. You can't do retail. It's basically a warehouse use. And they have, at most, they use 7 parking spaces there, and they're not open during the weekends. So there's management offices in the front and simply tile in the remaining part of the place, and they load from the back. As indicated, I had a little bit of a different count of parking, but on the first page, page number 1 of my report, I kind of put a red dot where I found parking spaces. I'll note that to the southeast on Gardner, there is parking permitted on the street there. And right across from where the property building faces on Stewart, there's also parking permitted there, although, as indicated, it's not needed simply because of the nature of the use. Again, the tile use uses pretty much 7 parking spaces at most. The training use is indicated, there may be 7 spaces there. You now are aware from the prior applicant of how this thing operates. It's primarily kid-oriented, so not a lot of drivers there. People get dropped off. On the second page of my report, I have some photos. And you see the facility from the intersection on the top. The applicant, there's a canopy over the door, and that's where a proposed sign is that would be a conforming sign. Below that are 2 photos of the waiting area and the weight room. The waiting area, again, there's not a lot of encouragement that parents hang out, but the answer is they have the right to be there, so they can hang out. But that area is isolated from the play area, and you see the training area at the bottom. So it's cordoned off by nets. There's a high ceiling, and peculiar to this sport, if you're pitching, if you're doing aerobics, you can do it on a 10 by 10 foot square, but you can't pitch on that small area. You need a certain large dimension to do that. So that's why this industrial building is well suited. Third page of the report, I show where this property is located in the industrial area, and it's pretty solidly in an industrial area. There are no houses in the area, no sensitive land uses. Your master plan recommended a general industrial category for this area that had a wide range of use, and it was silent as to whether recreational uses would or not be permitted, but at the current time, recreational type uses are not permitted, and that's why we're before you for a D variance. It's under the Medici standard. So we have 2 non-conforming dimensions. Its building coverage is over the maximum and impervious coverage is over the maximum. There are existing conditions, they're not changing. So the focus of this is on parking because we're under what your code says is required. And the big variance is the variance for the non-permitted use, the private recreation. Because this is a Medici case, we have to show that there's some public purposes advanced. We have to show that the use is particularly suited to the property, and we have to meet the negative criteria under the enhanced burden of proof. So at the bottom of page 5, I suggest that there are 5 municipal land use law purposes that are advanced. A talks about encouraging municipal action for appropriate use and development in a manner which promotes public health, safety, morals, and general welfare. G talks about sufficient space in an appropriate location, and M talks about lessening the cost of development. So the applicant is reusing an existing building, doesn't have to make any changes to the building or the parking area. This is a use that is well suited to this kind of space. Again, when you're teaching baseball, you need a certain dimension, as in, I think, 60 feet 6 inches from the pitcher's mound to the home plate. And this has a high ceiling, so it's well suited to this kind of use. So there are at least 3 purposes of the municipal land use law are advanced, in my opinion. It also, I think, is well suited because it has an off-peak hour use. The adjacent use is a low-intensity use, 7 parking spaces. This tends to peak, again, after school hours and more during the weekends when this area is kind of at a low ebb. The applicant has indicated that there is more than enough parking on the property to accommodate this use. We're not going to pull up paved areas because who knows who's going to appear 5 years from now. But the answer is this can walk into the building without any changes to the building and without any changes to the parking area. So in terms of the negative criteria, this is a use that has fairly unique spatial requirements. There are, other uses that are recreational, like aerobics, that just don't have these dimensional standards. It operates on off-peak hours. It happens to serve students, and that's kind of a public welfare advancement. The parking is functionally adequate. This is remote from any kind of sensitive land uses, such as single-family uses. And there are a fairly wide variety of private recreational uses that I included on attachment A. I'm not sure how they were approved, but I just Googled them. And as you would expect, because there is a lot of these require larger dimension spaces, a number of them have located in your industrial area. There's one here that just does pole vaulting. So I guess you need a certain height to get that done, and I guess a certain dimension to run. So there are a few uses that are particularly suited. This one is nice because it has some local connections. It's after hours. There's some people that might like baseball so much they would consider this an inherently beneficial use. It's not, but there clearly is a benefit to it to the student community. So I think there are special reasons, there is peculiar suitability, and the applicant meets the negative criteria under the enhanced burden of proof.
And in your professional opinion, you believe that these benefits outweigh any potential detriment that may come from this use?
Yes, that balancing case would also apply to the existing conditions of building coverage and lot coverage. So I believe the statutory criteria are met.
I have no further questions.
Any questions from the board? Joe?
No, actually, Mr. Steck, it's it. I think he covered the point.
You can't help yourself, can you?
The rookie.
I have no further witnesses or comments, and I would respectfully ask the board to consider our application tonight.
Thank you. I'd like to
Public?
Anybody from the public would like to speak? No. Let's call for motion.
I move to approve application 2025-7, Flores Baseball Training. Move to approve the application for a D variance.
I don't see any unique conditions.
I don't think we
No,
have
it's
any
just straight,
conditions on this one either.
straight.
Pretty straightforward. Parking's okay, it looks like, so we're good.
Mr. Honorata,
Yes.
Mr. Metallo,
Yes.
Mr. Baskinger, Mr. Carmagnola,
Yes.
Mr. Iania,
Yes.
Mr. Ivorone,
Yes.
Chairman Travato.
Yes.
Thank you, Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
board.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Again, sorry about the interruption at the beginning of the night. I'm glad we ended on a better note.
Thanks for your patience.
It was funny. Can't help yourself.
Should we dig out the nameplate?
Oh, God.
I probably will be. I mean, Allison will be here on occasion too, but I enjoy these. I've always enjoyed coming here. Yeah, when does that start? Is that next?
Yes.
Yeah, I know, it's, when is it next time? What date is that?
I will.
Did you play ball?
Did.
Where?
And then I played a little bit of professional baseball.
So are John's initials in
Minor?
there?
Minor league?
Yeah, but I'll be there.
Oh, yeah.
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 Yeah, my dad was actually a forward. He lived in Florida. He was a general manager in the minor leagues.
So this is when you start to lose 20 minutes.
Jeter and all those guys come up when they were young.
That's,
Is there anything else?
I went to spring training once when I was in high school for the Yankees. Mantle, Pepitone, Yogi. Oh, it was great.
You're dating yourself.
Seriously. Have you ever heard of Mickey Mantle?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lots of luck with everything.
What else we have to do?
Make a motion to pay the bills.
Yeah. Bill, yes.
Gentlemen, do I have a motion to pay the bills? I'll make a motion. Second, Rocco. I got the last one.
We haven't met in a long time.
Yeah.
Joe, step